The 3-game homestand ends today. Y-D Red Sox back in action as they host the Wareham Gatemen. Hello and welcome alongside Will Connerly. I'm Brad Klein, happy to be with you. And Will, Y-D finally reached a decision, a 6-4 win. No tie. They already have 3 ties this year, but no tie yesterday. It was a 6-4 win over Harwich, a season-high 15 hits and a season-high 17 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's the trend we're seeing in the league right now. But Y-D, 15 hits, 5 errors by Harwich yesterday, and you still left a good amount of runners on base. Nice offensive performance. Peyton Graham with the 4 hits. Baez with his coming out party there. So it's really nice to see the way that Y-D swung the bat yesterday.
It's a big deal, especially because Brooks Lee is no more for Y-D. He's off to play for Team USA. That 3-hole, it's a replacement 3-hole hitter. Now it's Chase Luttrell. We'll get to that later in the broadcast. And we go to the pitchers now. Evan Swanson from Lehigh goes for Wareham.
Yeah, and he pitched a lot at Lehigh, had a sub-3 ERA in 12 starts this past season, so can throw the ball pretty effectively, limits the runs in, so he's someone to watch out for. Threw 4 innings of relief last Friday, actually, against Orleans, and looked pretty good in that outing. He got the win, and so did Y-D's pitchers on the mound as well. 1 inning of work for Franklin so far this year. He picked up a win in relief, but that's all we've seen of him, just the second game of the season.
I was told to never trust a man with 2 last names. Zach Franklin is the starter, more like the opener for Y-D today. He's warming up. We flip it to the field now, breaking down Zach Franklin's game from Western Carolina. You mentioned he only had that 1 inning, but he looked pretty good.
He did look pretty good, and he came out the bullpen and got the job done. Was really helped by a Briley Knight play over in right field. And actually talking to him after the game, yeah, he had the 1 walk in the inning of a scoreless relief, but the big factor was he said, I didn't have my command. It wasn't great. And there's a difference between throwing strikes and having command. Having command is you're hitting your spots. The catcher's not moving their glove as much. And that's what, if Franklin can have the command, he's going to be able to be a big impact in this game. And you're right, the opener, hey, can you squeeze 3-4 out of Franklin? Does have some experience starting at Western Carolina, but definitely not what he primarily did over there at WCU, but something that he can give Y-D some length. And Brad, interesting stat I found earlier today, 9 games played for Y-D, 8 times the starter has gone 5+.
Not going to be the case today, but plenty of relievers ready to go, and they will be caught by Cody Huff, the Stanford Cardinal, making his catching debut for Y-D. Jim Jarvis leading off the top of the first inning for Wareham. And Zach Franklin on the bump. Working from the stretch with no one on, and the fastball is slashed to the left field. Peyton Graham saunters under, makes the catch with 2 hands for out number 1. So Zach Franklin working efficiently very early on.
Now batter, the second baseman, number 4, Tommy Troy from Stanford.
Well, Franklin this past year at Western Carolina made 3 starts in 18 appearances, a 4.96 ERA, and 45 in a third innings pitch with a 7-4 record. That's something that makes him pretty valuable to Y-D on the Cape, is that he did a little bit of everything. Had the 3 starts, also had 3 saves. Swing and a miss on a low fastball, actually a foul tip by Tommy Troy, the second baseman. 0-1 the count with 1 out.
Yeah, Troy just 1 game played thus far, but went 2 for 5.
That came yesterday in Wareham's 10-6 win over Orleans. Swing and a miss at the changeup, 0-2. So Franklin, with that stretch, seems to be a reliever at heart. Cody Huff setting up high and outside. And the fastball chopped over to the right side. Wyatt Hoffman leaps, and he can't make the play on the chopper. It corrals off his mitt, and an E4 in the books. A 1-out base runner for Tommy Troy in Wareham.
And Wyatt Hoffman, he's been so good defensively. That's a tough play to make. He ranges over to his right, tries to backhand it, and the hop kind of eats him up there. You've got Cade Kern up here, Brad, and the league's best hitter thus far on deck. So Wareham, with getting guys on atop their order, Franklin wants to bear down.
And Wyatt Hoffman tried to leap to make that play at 5'9". You have to wonder what would have been if he was 5'10". He was close. Cade Kern, 2 for 4 yesterday with a double. Runner goes, change up inside, the throw down by Huff. In time, got him.
That's how you get a guy out right off the base pass. Your first game as a backstop, and Cody Huff gets it done. Got rid of it quickly. The tag applied over at second, and a nice play right there.
Welcome to the backstop, Cody Huff. Making his name as a Y-D Red Sox, 2 gone, and Zach Franklin is behind 1-0 to Cade Kern. And Franklin with the sidestep delivery. Chopper over to the left side. Lou grabs it onto first in time. Side retired. No runs, no hits, no one left on. Despite the base runner, Zach Franklin faces the minimum. And in the middle of the first, no score between the Red Sox and the Gatemen. This break brought to you by Milton Cat. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Happy to be with you. No score in the bottom of the first inning, and Peyton Graham is set to lead off for Y-D against the hurler Matt Svanson for Wareham.
Yeah, and this right-hander coming from Lehigh has a lot of experience starting. This is his first start. Picked up a win out of the bullpen earlier this year. Tossed 4 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts, no walks against Orleans. He looked really good, and that's probably a big reason why he's getting the nod to begin the game, because he was so good out of the bullpen. He was really good at Lehigh as well. 12 starts in 2021 with a 2.3 ERA and over 70 innings tossed. 22 career starts over at Lehigh. So he's no stranger to towing the rubber at the beginning of games.
Svanson also had 6 strikeouts in those 4 innings. The strikeouts have been eating Y-D up. They had 17 yesterday in the 6-4 win over Harwich and 16 the day before. Peyton Graham leading off, and the fastball tailing inside for ball 1.
The impressive thing, as you go back to yesterday, Y-D jumped out really quick on Harwich, and the most impressive part about that's against one of the better pitchers in the nation, Schlittler. They're able to score 6 runs off of him. 4 were earned, but they're able to do really well. Out of the bullpen is when the strikeouts piled up. 10 strikeouts from the lefty from Monmouth, so that was what was the dagger for Y-D.
The count now 1-1 as Graham pokes it foul down the first base side, and the fastball misses just low. 2-1 now.
Looked like a pretty close pitch right there. And obviously early in games, both teams getting a feel for what the strike zone's going to be.
So Peyton Graham from Oklahoma watches the breaking ball high for ball 3, and Matt Svanson, like we mentioned, the righty from Lehigh. Patriot League this past season had plenty of success. A 2.3 ERA, up big time from his 7.77 mark in the shortened 2020 campaign. So the count is now full. Peyton Graham fighting off a couple of fastballs foul. Payoff pitch, chop foul, we'll do it again.
And Graham looked really good yesterday. Just came out firing, had an 0 for 4. with 3 strikeouts the day before, fouls it up 4 for 5, home run and a couple doubles. So a nice way to respond for Y-D's leadoff hitter.
And Graham grounds it over to the left side. Ranging over is Jarvis, throwing on the run. The throw not in time. Peyton Graham muscles out a leadoff infield single for Y-D.
Muscles it out all right, and he hustles to the first base bag. Does a nice job right there to get on. And this lineup, it's nice to see leadoff guys get on and put some pressure on the starting pitcher.
So here's Briley Knight, who is 1 for his last 17, and the single that snapped a 1-0 for 15 skid. And the lefty watches the fastball high and outside for ball 1.
Yeah, he had that single yesterday. It was a really good swing to right field, and that's where he wants to stay, you know, staying on the ball, staying through it, and putting good swings.
Knight grounds it over through the hole for a base hit into right field. Peyton Graham over to second. Back-to-back singles with no one out in the bottom of the first inning for Y-D.
And here comes Chase Luttrell. He's swung the bat better coming into the season. He's a guy you look to, okay, first team all Big West, has a ton of pop, and on the metrics, he does have some of the best power. Had his first extra base hit yesterday, 4 for his last 9. So good spot for Luttrell to, you know, take a hold of this third place in the lineup.
So a slow ground ball to the right side of the infield between the second baseman Troy and the first baseman Despina. Single for Briley Knight and an infield single for Peyton Graham puts runners on first and second, no one out for Chase Luttrell. And Swanson steps off to watch Peyton Graham scurry back to second base. So here's Chase Luttrell, 4 for his last 9, and in a way this starts off a new chapter of his young Y-D career. Now in the 3-hole with Brooks Lee gone, playing for Team USA. The breaking ball misses outside for ball 1. And now head coach Scott Pickler and his staff are going to be looking to Chase Luttrell for a lot more run support, a lot more reliability that Brooks Lee leaves behind. 1 ball, no strikes. No score in the bottom of the first inning. Luttrell grounds it over to the right side. Could be 2. Troy over to second. And a nice slide by Briley Knight. An obstacle for Jarvis. The shortstop couldn't make a throw. And with 1 out, it's runners on the corners for Y-D.
Luttrell right there was in jeopardy of grounding into yet another double play. He's already had 4 this season, which leads the league, but able to get on base, which is nice because Baez has just been scorching.
Now, Luttrell said that double he had yesterday was really the first barrel he caught as a Red Sox. He knows he's capable of a lot more, and Briley Knight bailing him out there. Here's Nate Baez, who recently needs no one to bail him out besides himself. He's been scorching hot. Launches the fastball outside and low for ball 1. He's 7 for his last 16, and over the past 4 games, he has propelled his batting average from 188 to 313. Completely changed his game.
Done a really, really good job of just staying sound at the plate.
Baez fouls it back into the mid of the catcher, Nick Samillo. 1-1 the count now.
He hasn't been trying to do too much, taking balls to right field, going to left field, hitting the ball hard. And it's been nice to see the tear that Baez is on.
Swing and a miss on the fastball again for strike 2. Well, Baez was actually joking around and said, and well, he was being literal, but he was messing around and saying, hey, my 4 singles didn't even go nearly as far as Brooks Lee's lone home run from yesterday. And he's right, but it plays. 1 ball, 2 strikes, runners on the corners, 1 out. Baez checked his swing, didn't matter. The breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 3. And a backwards K in the books. 2 gone in the bottom of the first with runners on the corners.
Yeah, close pitch right there on the outside corner. A nice pitch, though. Swanson he placed the breaking ball nicely. Baez wasn't ready for it, but now he has that information. He can relay that to the dugout. Hey, this is what he's got, the breaking ball.
Here's Drew Compton. Watches the changeup on the lower part of the strike zone. 0-1 now. Swanson really, really likes that changeup. He says it's his best pitch, as long as he can keep it down, like he just did against Drew Compton. And the lefty watches the breaking ball. That one on the outer half of the plate, 0-2. Now, Compton has been ice cold since that last Wareham game on the 23rd when Y-D was blown out 7-1 on the road. That was his last hit. Runner goes from first, and Compton chases the breaking ball off the plate for strike 3. The throw down to third just for show, and that retires the side. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left on. At the end of 1, Y-D none, and Wareham none, right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Happy to be with you for the top of the second inning. No score between the Red Sox and the Gatemen from Red Wilson Field. And Owen Diodati with a home run cut on strike 1. The first pitch fastball delivered by Zach Franklin, the righty from Western Carolina. And a home run cut is far from Greek for Owen Diodati.
It is 3 home runs on the season. Coming off Cape Cod Player of the Week. First week of the season, he really was on a tear.
Slider just missed, 1-1 now. Now Diodati, the Alabama Crimson Tide from Ontario, hit .230 in college, had 3 grand slams. He lives for the big moment. Fastball missed just inside. So Diodati ahead of the count. Was a freshman All-American after being drafted in the 29th round by the Toronto Blue Jays. And Diodati swings and misses through the fastball for strike 2. Zach Franklin appearing as an opener today. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Owen Diodati. Comes set at the belt, kicks and deals. A late time called by the home plate umpire, so Franklin went through his motion anyway. That is an easy way for a pitcher to get hurt. The home plate umpire, James Fonseca, awarding Diodati. It was a long hold by Franklin. Sidestep delivery, popped up into foul ground. The third baseman, Lou, coming on, and he makes the catch, finds it in the sun last minute. Oh, Zach Lou with a Wem gem in foul territory for out number 1.
Baseman number 15, Justin Williams from Penn State.
That's the second time we've seen Lou make a really tough catch in foul territory down that third base line from Red Wilson.
Inserted into the hot corner, Graham moves to left field today, and Lou doing a nice job on the defensive side just through the first 2 frames.
Jason Williams swinging a miss through the fastball, strike 1. Well, that's a big catch for Zach Lou. Not only is it out number 1 in the top of the second, but it's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to Scott Pickler saying, hey, I could play third. I could be the everyday third baseman, as Pickler and his staff really try to figure out a lineup with the absence of Brooks Lee. It shuffles everything around. Now Pascal Ferreras playing shortstop. Who knows if he emerges as the everyday six. A lot to Rubik's Cube for Scott Pickler. 0-2 the count now as Williams fights off the breaking ball out of play. 1 out, no one on, no score in the top of the second inning. Wareham and Y-D. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Strike three. Zach Franklin with a wiffle ball of a throw on 0-2.
Angelo Despina from Mercer.
His first strikeout of the day, and it's up to Angelo Despina now. 1 for 3 yesterday. But it really just comes down to that, Will, and I guess I ask you, who's your left side of the infield, and where does Peyton Graham figure into that equation? Because he can pretty much play any position you want him to. As Despina watches the breaking ball for strike one, today he's in left. Tomorrow he could be in center. The day after that he could be playing third, and who knows if he's the everyday shortstop or not.
Yeah, he could be a guy who could get some reps at short. I think it's going to come down to who's going to hit. And then they're going to figure out on the defensive side where they're going to put their pieces together. Guys get hot. Obviously, he's going to mix and match and play matchups with the left-handers and the right-handers, give guys repetitions at different positions. But Graham, I mean, he's surefire, going to be top of the order, third base, left field, wherever you put him.
1 ball and 1 strike now to Despina. Fights off the changeup outside to the parking lot. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
Despina 1 for 4 yesterday.
Redshirt junior from Mercer College. 266 this past year after hitting 328 in 2020. Fastball bounced in the dirt. Nice block by Cody Huff. He's on the same wavelength with Franklin. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He hit 328 in 16 games. 266, the average did dip this year, but 15 home runs and 14 doubles, so he has some really good power.
45 RBIs in 64 games.
He had a home run yesterday against Orleans.
And Despina again slaps it foul down the left field line.
Hitting 286 on the season. He started 8 for 28, and he has 3 extra base hits. Has struck out 12 times, so a very hit-or-miss type of hitter, but from the left side, from Mercer, he definitely has a lot of extra base hit potential.
The 2-2 from Franklin. Again fell. That one sails over the Y-D dugout. So Zach Franklin in a bit of a staring contest here with Despina. And you figure that Franklin's leash is about 3 innings, maybe 4 if he's cruising, but these long counts have Zach Jacobs potentially getting warm in a hurry. Another foul ball on the fastball to the Y-D dugout out of play.
Yeah, get 3, 4 out of Franklin and parlay that with Jacobs, who can piggyback, who had the 2 innings against Katuitt, didn't throw the way he wanted to, but this is a nice chance for him to come out of the bullpen and establish his stuff on the mound.
Zach Jacobs got the first 2 outs via a pop out and a strikeout. 2 balls and 2 strikes, no one on. And with 2 outs, a bounce breaking ball in the dirt. Count is now full. Zach Franklin seems to be a little tentative against Angelo Despina. You mentioned the home run yesterday. A guy with the ability to completely change a game. 1 swing of the bat. And the fastball fought off to the left side. The third baseman, Lou, calls off Ferreras and makes the catch. Side retired. No runs, no hits, no one left on. Wareham sent down in order. And in the middle of the second, no score between the Gatemen and the Red Sox. This break brought to you by Curry College. Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including 5th-year master's programs at www.curry.edu.
The second.
Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, Brad Klein alongside Will Connerly in the bottom of the second. No score between the Red Sox and the Gatemen, and it is Wyatt Hoffman leading off the frame for the Red Sox against Matt Svensson, the Lehigh righty, and the changeup make that slider in the dirt, and Hoffman just could not resist for strike one. Now Wyatt Hoffman, 6 for his last 12. It's a good time to be the second baseman defensively and offensively. Checked his swing, didn't chase. The breaking ball tails off. 1-1 the count now. And that's a guy who is getting hot at just the right time as Scott Pickler tries to figure out his lineup the rest of the way. Fastball down the middle, 1-2.
He's produced as of late. 6 for 12 and really, really good defense in the field. A lot of balls have come his way.
And he clocks that one to left center field. Coming on is Diodati. He dives and makes the catch. Owen Diodati robs Wyatt Hoffman of extra bases. 1 out in the bottom of the second.
We've seen some great defense to begin this game. I thought that ball was getting down, and then big Diodati comes out, dives for it in left field. What a catch right there, and everyone's flashing the leather today through the first few frames.
That's a whole lot of humans, 6'3", 210, to go a long way and lay out like that.
Gotta ask if the ground is okay.
So now Cody Huff, the catcher from Stanford, getting his first start as a position player, did make an appearance as a DH, but went over in Orleans. And Huff clocks it into left field. That's a base hit. Welcome to Y-D, Cody Huff. Throws out a runner at second base, and a few minutes later, a single into left with 1 out in the bottom of the second inning.
Nice job by Huff. Obviously, with Stanford, who was in the College World Series, makes his way here, gets his first hit, and playing really good behind the plate as well. And a couple guys get on in the bottom of the order, see if they can't make some noise.
Brings up Zach Liu, watches the fastball low for ball 1. Well, Huff was definitely trying to downplay it, but he didn't deny the pressure that comes with being on the Cape as someone that grew up watching Cape games consistently with his father being a scout. He just doesn't want to disappoint the legacy of the league. Fastball misses low and inside for ball 2, and I'm sure anyone that's watching or listening at home that is familiar with what Cody Huff did in Omaha a couple weeks ago, they'd be surprised to hear that. He said he was actually more nervous in Orleans for his first at-bat on the Cape than he was in Omaha. Runner goes. Cody Huff is now caught in a pickle. The throw down by Samillo has Cody Huff between first and second, and now it's a game of running bases. The tag is applied by Tommy Troy, the second baseman, and Cody Huff is out, number 2.
Well, you're talking about Cody Huff, and on that play, he got just caught in between, was running, and then it was Samillo who was going to throw down, and Huff stopped. Huff wanted to go back, but the throw was actually a really good throw down to second base. He would have been gone by a mile at second. So he thought, okay, I'm going to go back to first. He stopped and kind of got caught in the middle. It was a weird play. He didn't particularly have a great jump. And when you don't have a good jump and you have the steal sign or you want to go, okay, I'm not going to go. But he decided that a little too late after already making his way towards second base.
Cody Huff has just one collegiate stolen base. 2 as a collegiate player, had 1 in the Alaska Summer League. Came in 2019 as an 18-year-old.
And Brett, it also could have been the hit and run with the ball not put in play.
And Lou watches the fastball inside for ball 4. So either way, Zach Lou ends up on base with 2 out. And Pascal Ferreras, the shortstop, at the dish.
Ferreira is sitting here in the 9-hole. We know he had that pop this past season, but trying to showcase it. 2 for his last 17 at the plate with Y-D.
Now we talk about Chase Luttrell as a guy as Lou fakes the steal, a chopper over to short. It's backhanded by Jarvis across the diamond and in time to get the speedy Ferreras for out number 3. So Pascal Ferreras, in his first at-bat as the starting shortstop, grounds out. A 6-3 putout retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left on. At the end of 2, no score between the Red Sox and the Gatemen right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
Back with you here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Franklin on the mound for his 3rd frame of work. And that's in there for a strike here against Jack Brannigan. 2 for 17 on the season, hitting 118. But a nice start for Franklin through 2 scoreless, has faced the minimum. And has yet to surrender a hit as that ball is fouled away down the left side. Alongside Brad Klein for this one. A beautiful day for baseball. It was scorching yesterday, still a pretty hot one today, but it's cooled off maybe a few degrees.
Actually, it's funny. I went up to head coach Scott Pickler earlier today, and I said, "Oh, coach, you ready for another scorcher?" And he looked at me like I was crazy. "This isn't a scorcher. If you have any breeze, it can't be considered a scorcher." That's what he told me.
And he's, of course, coaching for multiple decades in California.
Knows what he's talking about.
He's seen some scorchers for sure. A 1-ball, 2-strike count here to the designated hitter, Jack Brannigan. Swing and a miss and a strikeout for Franklin to begin the 3rd. Franklin working with good effectiveness. And it makes you wonder, maybe the original plan to go 3 or 4, but could he maybe extend that if he can stay effective on the mound? 2nd strikeout for Franklin recorded.
Yeah, anything's possible. There's certainly some really hungry arms in the bullpen for Y-D today, so you don't want to push Franklin if you don't have to, but if he works efficiently in this inning, then I'm not going to write it off. The past inning, the 2nd, had a couple of long at-bats.
Tom Vasella working with the pitchers, and I know you like to mention the Rubik's Cube that Coach Pickler has to use to put together the lineup and, of course, managing a pitching staff. And Coach Vasella and Pickler work together, of course, with missing out on Thorpe, utilizing Jacobs now out of the bullpen. I think it's always interesting to see how college pitchers can adjust to throwing in the summer in different atmosphere, typically getting the same amount of days of rest, but when you want to make the step to the next level like a lot of players on the Cape do, sometimes that rest comes condensed. You're playing more games. Maybe it's just a few days, but pitchers are so routine-oriented, and, of course, that's a big factor as Samillo is at the plate, 2 for 13 on the season with a 1-2 count. And he rings him up, back-to-back strikeouts to begin the top of the third, and Franklin is settled in.
Yeah, he is. And we talk a little bit about Franklin's modest background as a starter. He actually threw 108 innings, or rather 108 pitches in his last appearance this past season, so I don't think the pitch count and duration is necessarily a problem for Franklin. We should just be looking at how effective his pitches are.
Yeah, the pitch count, it's more of what you said earlier about there's hungry arms in the bullpen, and guys need to get work or they lose their sharpness, as that was a very sharp breaking ball that drops into the strike zone to the ninth place hitter, Cade Fergus, playing center field today. 0-1 the count. But that sharpness of a pitcher, if you don't get reps at anything, you're going to lose that ability to stay sharp. And so, of course, arms getting ready to throw as that breaking ball is fouled back. That one hung up a little bit, but Fergus not able to square it up, so 0-2 the count. Fergus 3 for 9 on the season through 5 games. Was 0 for 1 yesterday against Orleans. He struck out in his lone at-bat. That pitch misses high. Had one at-bat against Falmouth on the 28th, struck out. Had one at-bat against Orleans yesterday and struck out. But before that, had a 3-game hitting streak to begin his season. Just 5 games thus far played for the Gateman, coming from George Washington. A ball and 2 strikes. Franklin looks to K the side, and that ball hit to the right side. Hoffman with the easy play made, and through 3 innings, Franklin has set down the order. No hits as we send it to the bottom of the third on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Brad Klein with Will Connerly here and Peyton Graham, the top of the order due up here in the bottom of the third against Swanson, the right-hander out of Lehigh. Matt Swanson thus far surrendered 3 hits but no runs allowed.
Now worked in and out of trouble in the first inning especially. Gave up 2 hits to start the game. Peyton Graham was one of them. And to strand 2 runners on first and second, early first and third after the fielder's choice by Chase Luttrell. That was pretty impressive.
Pitch misses low. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Peyton Graham singled to lead off this game. infield single. It was his 14th hit of the season. Here in the 10th game of the year for the Red Sox, that ball hit up the middle. Nice play made at second by Troy, thrown over to first. And there's one retired here in the bottom of the third. Graham hit the ball up the middle, but a shifty play over there by Troy at second to retire Graham.
Yeah, and he was very close. I caught him looking over at the second baseman, Troy, and I wonder if he would have beaten the throw had he just kept his head down. Probably not, but it looked like Graham was just hoping for the ball to pinball off of a toe, a shoelace, a heel, something by Swanson to hinder the path over to Troy.
Here's Briley Knight, was 1 for 4 yesterday. Has 4 hits on the season and 23 at-bats. But singled back in the first, then was cut off the base paths when Chase Luttrell grounded out to second base. Luttrell reached on the fielder's choice, who's on deck, and it was Briley Knight who was retired, but had a single yesterday, had a hit today after was in a slump of an 0 for 15, so nice to see him back-to-back days. He's able to get a base knock in a 1-2 hole here against Swanson. No score here, bottom of the third. Both pitchers being effective. No hits for Wareham. 3 hits for the Y-D Red Sox, and hits was the theme yesterday, a season-high 15 for Y-D. 4 hits from Graham, 4 from Baez. It was a nice performance on the offensive end. That ball grounded to the right side. Despina gloves it, tags first, and there's 2 outs.
That was a tough play by Despina. Didn't know if he wanted to play it on 1 or 2 hops. He ended up trapping it on the ground, which was a very, very difficult play to make. You give it to him again, it might get through.
And here comes Chase Luttrell, the Y-D Red Sox, and he shows his high Red Sox and grounds it right up the middle. Swanson flip over to first in a quick 1-2-3 frame. Swanson retires the top of the order in the bottom of the third. To the fourth we go. No score on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Brad Klein here with Will Connerly. And the top of the fourth, Franklin still on the mound. A big reason why, only thrown 35 pitches through 3 scoreless. He's faced the minimum through 3. No hits allowed for the right-hander, and the changeup a swing and a miss on the first offering from Wareham's leadoff hitter Jim Jarvis here in the fourth.
Now, Franklin's been working very efficiently, especially when you put it into the context of that second inning when he did work into some pretty long at-bats. Angelo Despina especially took him for a few more pitches than he wanted.
Grounded to the right side, Hoffman over to first, and there's one away here in the fourth. Jarvis and Owen Diodati, both from Alabama, have proven early on in the season to be the best 2 hitters for Wareham. But Jarvis retired on his first 2 at-bats against Franklin. who's really settled in. He's been very efficient with his pitches early on. That changeup has showcased to have hitters off balance, and Hoffman makes a nice play as Tommy Troy comes to the plate. The only player to reach base today for Wareham as that ball grounded away to the left side. He reached via an error back in the first. A rare error from Wyatt Hoffman, just his second of the season. And then he was cut off the base paths after Huff caught him stealing, and it was a great play made by Cody Huff, the backstop. His first game catching for the Y-D Red Sox, coming from Stanford as that pitch misses up and away. But Tommy Troy to the plate. He had his first game with the Gatemen yesterday, went 2 for 5. And that ball hit to the left side, and it is foul. And maybe Huff got the report on what Tommy Troy did yesterday. Had 2 stolen bases in his first game and tried to run in the first, but was just gunned down. It was a great throw and tag combination. You don't see a lot of players very eager to steal bases. Of course, Colin Davis of Brewster is 8 stolen bases to pace the league, but that ball fouled away once again, a 1-2 count.
And you can't forget that Cody Huff is a big deal for Y-D. And this is a guy that's likely to be drafted in the top 5 rounds of next year. So the potential is up the wazoo. And now, it's no secret, this is an audition, just like it is for a lot of other players at a lot of other positions.
That ball runs in and it hits Tommy Troy. The umpires, though it says like he is now having word with Troy, and now the umpires are going to talk. So, Brad, Troy appeared to get hit. Goes down to first as hits batsmen do, right? But now the umpires want to talk. It was James Fonseca, the home plate umpire, who called both other umpires in. And Mike Rabideau, Tom Ryberg, they're all having a conversation. Are they maybe saying, hey, was this a foul ball or a hit by pitch? Or
it's tough to overturn.
Yeah.
You can pretty much only go by sound. I heard Lumber. They're going to give him the free base. Now, here's the only problem with that. If you get hit by a pitch where Troy's saying he was hit, that's going to hurt. And he hardly even reacted. And typically umpires, believe it or not, go off of the batter because the batter will reveal the true result of the pitch in the first quarter second after. Body language, reaction, true reaction, too quick to really calculate, okay, I want to sell it. I want to potentially basketball jargon flop and say, oh no, my hand hurts, I got hit in my hand. So it didn't really look like Troy reacted very much to the hit by a pitch, and he was pointing to his hand.
he gets aboard after the quick conference from the umpires. Troy on first. Tried to run last time he was aboard. The only Gateman to reach base, it was an error in the first, a hit by pitch in the fourth. No hits thus far for Wareham. You wonder if Troy is more reluctant to try to steal second this time after being gunned down by Huff his first go-around. Nothing in one the count after the pitch is thrown in the strike zone to Cade Kern on the first offering to the third hitter in the lineup for the Gateman, who grounded out to Zach Liu, who made a nice play to end the first inning. As Franklin takes a peek over at Tommy Troy at first with Nate Baez holding on. Cade Kern, 7 hits on the season and 29 at-bats, including that ground out back in the first. Five of the last 6 games, though, for Kern, he has got a hit, including a 1-for-4 performance yesterday with 2 runs scored against Orleans when the Gatemen won 10-4. That ball hit well over to Ferreras. Hoffman to second, and it's a double play. Inning ending, 6-4-3, and a nice defensive go-around on the middle infield. Ferreras to Hoffman to Baez, and we're through 4-4 scoreless for Franklin. No hits allowed. To the 5th we go on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the fourth, no score here at Red Wilson Field. Alongside Brad Klein, Will Connerly here with you. And a few other Cape games in action. Orleans up 5-0 on Cotuit in the bottom of the second. And a 2-1 score in favor of Brewster in the top of the third against Chatham. As Baez, Compton, and Hoffman are the scheduled hitters for the Y-D Red Sox here in the bottom of the fourth.
So if you're Y-D, you have to be actually relatively happy so far. 3 hits over 3+, not the best mark, but what you have to really look at is the strikeouts. Nate Baez, the only strikeout victim today. 17 strikeouts for Y-D yesterday. Actually, 2 strikeouts. Drew Compton struck out just after him in the first inning, but still, that's a much improved rate.
And important to put the ball in play and limit those Ks. Nate Baez gets hit by pitch to lead off the bottom of the fourth. Ball just got away from Swanson. No intention there, of course. Just looked like the breaking ball didn't break, and it hit Baez right in the back. He gets a board for Compton to lead off the bottom of the fourth. So nice news for the Red Sox. They get a runner aboard.
And now a chance for Compton, who really hasn't broken into the lineup as an everyday position player. Can't do that until you really swing the bat well.
Compton hitless in his last 8 at-bats as he takes the changeup low and away for 1 ball, no strikes. 3 hits for Y-D today. Bottom of the fourth here at Red Wilson Field. Sun shining down as Wyatt Hoffman is on deck. 2 balls, no strikes. Here to Compton, takes 2 pitches outside the strike zone and low and away. So Baez gets aboard via the hit by pitch. Baez, the cleanup hitter today, and he's been the hottest hitter on the Red Sox last few games. Coming into today was 7 for his last 16. The average creeped up to .313 after his 4-hit performance yesterday. 2 balls and a strike. And the pitch to Compton, grounded toward the left side. Jarvis over to second, over to first, and it's a double play. Compton grounds into the 6-4-3, and there's 2 away in the bottom of the fourth.
If you're Compton, there's no speed on base. Nate Baez doesn't run very well, and Compton himself doesn't run very well. And something that I've been very surprised about with Compton as a guy with a lot of power is he has a tough time elevating the baseball, especially on the breaking ball. I've noticed that, and the changeup too. So Drew Compton really sitting on those fastballs. It's not working out.
Here comes Wyatt Hoffman, takes a pitch up and in for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Here against Swanson. And Hoffman, coming into today, was 6 for his last 12, 0 for 1 today, but was just absolutely robbed of extra bases from Owen Diodati last time in left field. Completely laid out for a ball and made a nice diving catch. The defense has been on display in this one as that pitch is up and in. Double plays on the infield, 6-4-3, have been turned on both sides. You've seen diving plays and nice plays made by Lou, a couple plays at the hot corner, and also the great catch from Diodati. No score. The defense has been in control on both sides as that ball is fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes here with 2 outs. Nobody on bottom of the fourth, no score. But, Brad, it's been the flashing of the leather that's been the theme thus far today.
Who's going to make more plays? Yesterday, Harwich against Y-D made 5 errors. No coincidence. They lost the game. They shot themselves in the foot.
Swing and a miss by Hoffman, and it's Swanson back-to-back 1-2-3 frames. We send it to the 5th. No score from Red Wilson Field. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Top of the fifth, no score here from Red Wilson Field, and joined by a special guest, Jay Alter, ESPN's Jay Alter, alongside Brad Klein, of course, as well. And Jay, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is actually my first time in Cape Cod, let alone the Cape Cod League, which I've heard so much about, so it's a pleasure to be with you tonight.
Yeah, and as a Syracuse student, you were dodging it. You didn't want to intern on the Cape. Said, not really for me. So now you finally made it.
And you know what I'm thinking as I look at this beautiful field on a beautiful night in the summer?
You made a mistake.
What was I thinking? I could have done this. Oh, my goodness.
As Owen Diodati grounds out to Hoffman at second base, Franklin been cruising. No hits allowed as he's working in his fifth frame. And being on the Cape, do you enjoy the Cape Cod? I know that you, of course, have expressed you love the beautiful field and, of course, a beautiful night here. But how's your experience been? How long have you been here?
We've only been here for a day. The weather's tremendous. We played mini golf. We went to the beach, had a lobster roll. I mean, I'm just going through my Cape Cod bingo card, if you will. And now check off a baseball game at Red Wilson Field. We've got a no-hitter cooking. Oh, boy.
You sure about that?
Ouch.
I should know better, but I feel bad for Franklin if I jinxed him. But he's been pitching lights out. It's been awesome.
Okay, so I guess the mandatory question is, how much of a quote-unquote baseball guy are you? Being a guy that did not intern as a broadcaster on the Cape as a Syracuse student, and now you're kind of taking over the spring with your other gig in lacrosse. So what's the deal there?
It's a great question, Brad. I'm a firm believer as a broadcaster. You're either a baseball guy or you're everything else. Because there's 162 games in the season, you've got to commit so much to it. And I just took the approach from when I was in Syracuse. I'll be the everything else guy. Okay. So football, basketball, lacrosse primarily. But again, as I look at a gorgeous night like tonight, I'm thinking, boy, did I get it all wrong.
And here with a ball and 2 strikes, Franklin facing Justin Williams as that ball hit well to left field. No hitter is gone. Shutout is gone. A home run to left field. Justin Williams breaks the seal. It's a 1-0 lead for the Wareham Gatemen.
No. Did I do that?
Jay, how does it feel?
I come into the booth, say this kid is a no-hitter, and he lets one yard. Oh, no, I owe that kid a lobster roll.
Well, what are your thoughts on the broadcaster's jinx? You're a big believer in that?
You know, I wasn't. That's why I was so confident going on and saying the kid is a no-no, and then he lets one 400 feet. I feel terrible. This poor kid from Western Carolina's pitched a great game, and baseball's a brutal sport. One bad pitch and...
Does it make you feel any better if I show you the scorecard? It says HR, and it's got that colored in diamond, too. How does that feel?
It's brutal.
Right there.
It's brutal.
You see it? Okay.
And here I am. I'm rooting for pitchers tonight because I'm here to support my sister-in-law's boyfriend, Jonathan Brand. He's going to be pitching for Wareham, I believe, starting in the bottom of the 5th.
And so that's a big motivating factor. Come support, obviously, loved ones and see guys on the mound.
I've had no excuse to not come to Cape Cod. I've grown up in Connecticut, lived in Connecticut all my life. It's only a 3-hour drive. And it took, obviously a family connection to get me here. But now I think I'm going to go tell my wife we're coming every summer because what beats this?
It's the top of the list, right, Brad? Top of the list.
Absolutely. Jay, thank you so much, by the way, because first of all, to come up, that was great. This is great. But to completely demolish the kid's home run, I'm gonna talk to Zach about it too. I'm gonna say, hey, Zach, yeah, you know what happened, right? No, what happened? Well, yeah, you hung the curveball, but Jay Alter as well.
It's Franklin, right?
Yeah, Zach
Franklin.
If the Franklin family is watching, that is on me. Yeah. That is, put that one on Jay Alter. Franklin's been pitching really gutsy tonight. I love his stuff, and just one bad pitch because I laid the jinx on him.
So here's a question. As the resident lacrosse guy here, right? Mm-hmm. How much has lacrosse, do you think, cut into baseball? We all know it has. A lot of premier athletes taking their talents to lacrosse in the spring as high school students, and that just completely changes the foundation for the pro ranks.
I'll say certainly in the Northeast. as one's fouled back to us here at the
Oh,
broadcast
there
location. No, certainly in the Northeast. Now, Will, you said you're from the Midwest.
Midwest, yes.
So lacrosse probably hasn't grown as much there as we've seen in
But
the
it's
Northeast.
spreading.
But it is spreading.
Yeah.
You're starting to see it in Dallas, Texas. You're starting to see it in Oregon and California. But baseball is still America's pastime.
Pastime, yeah.
It's still the number one summer sport. Take the family. I think lacrosse has a long way to go, certainly on the professional level, but collegiately, particularly on the women's side of things, I've loved to see the growth the last couple of years, and that's one thing. I know the College World Series is going on right now, but I feel like baseball is such a professional game more so than it is a collegiate game.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And, of course, after Franklin gets the strikeout right there to Despina for the second out after the solo shot by Williams, 1-0 Wareham lead. But when you talk about lacrosse and, of course, area of expertise for you, Jay, it's one of the fastest growing sports also in the country with the continued interest and involvement in. You're someone who broadcasts that sport. It's an opportunity to let fans enjoy the game and give them knowledge about the game and inform them of how it's played.
It's got the most passionate fan base. I do football, basketball, and lacrosse, and out of those three, lacrosse is certainly the most passionate. But I got to say, going back to the game, you've got some passionate Cape Cod League fans showing up. I mean, we are – the bleachers are full. The picnic chairs are out. Great play.
Foul ball,
Not
though.
quite. They called it the foul ball.
It's
Zach
still a
didn't
great
think so,
play,
yeah.
though, but doesn't go in the scorebook. No. Foul ball.
Now, what's interesting is, too, we've mentioned the great fans that are here. Bleachers are packed. How about the scouts right in front of us, too? We've got about 40 scouts on hand tonight. And
Every night.
That's what this is about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to make it to the show, I feel like all roads to Major League Baseball come through Cape Cod.
One
And
in 6 MLB players played
And
on
it's
the Cape.
pretty crazy to think, and it's always been like this, but until you get to the Cape and you watch these players and you watch the future of baseball, it's crazy to think that some kids, high school students, are spoon-fed, not spoon-fed because they earn it, they're good players, but they're given millions of dollars. And they never play on the Cape. They never get the development and the coaching that these guys do. Instead, they're thrown right into the fire of pro ball, which is something that other sports really haven't caught up to, basketball, football, and lacrosse. You really have to go through the college ranks, which is only going to hurt the sport in the long run because college athletics are just blowing up every sport.
Yeah, continued interest across the board with college athletics. And, of course, this is almost the College World Series of players, some of the best players in the country competing here on the Cape. But you've seen the growth, of course, with broadcasting of all college sports on major networks across the country, as that ball is just nearly foul after Brannigan singled here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th.
What's it like for you guys doing this day in and day out for really the first time in your young careers?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
The dream, honestly. It's like Brad every day say, "How's it going?" He said, "Living the dream."
It's kind of my thing.
He's absolutely right.
It's kind of my thing.
I
But I
mean-
will say this, and look, just to step into body for a second, broadcasting to me, I actually compare it a lot to playing. You have performances, you have preparation, and you have performances, right? Mm-hmm. And if I have a so-so broadcast, bad broadcast that I'm not happy with come football season, I have to sit on that for at least a week.
Yeah.
Baseball, we're right back at it, and another sunny day at the ballpark, which is kind of nice. Kind of nice.
Yeah, and I think it's obviously a great joy for me. I love baseball. I love broadcasting. So when you get to combine two passions like that together, it's really fun.
Jay and I met when I was in high school.
When you're in high school, and then of course shared the bond at Syracuse.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the dream has been, always will be the same, is that, and I work very hard to accomplish this. It sounds weird. Go to work every day and not feel like you're working. That's the goal. Now you work hard to get there, but to talk about sports and get paid to do it, like Jay's doing, that's the dream.
Is that how
right
you
there.
feel, Jay?
Absolutely. Every day, I never take it for granted. Even during a pandemic, when you're calling the games out of your basement instead of being courtside, never had a bad day during all of that.
Even if Sam Oppenheim takes your second half?
Yeah, exactly. Even when the internet goes out. It is living the dream, and it's not dissimilar from this, guys. You get to put on the headset. You get to talk about great athletes and a great sport.
Absolutely, and we'll continue chatting in the bottom frame of the fifth. 1-0 lead for Wareham. As to the bottom of the fifth we go on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network from Red Wilson Field. A 1-0 lead for the Wareham Gatemen here against the Y-D Red Sox, who sit atop the East Division, still alongside ESPN's Jay Alter with Brad Klein as well. And thanks for coming up and joining us here for a few frames. It's, of course, been a pleasure, and we've already had some fun just in one half inning.
This is what I love about baseball, too, because if we were doing this during like a football or a basketball game, we couldn't have the discussion and just casually hang out like we are now. So the sport lends itself to summertime when you just want to barbecue, grab a beer, put a burger on, and watch some sports.
And Cody Huff watches a base knock as he has himself a single here to begin the fifth. And, of course, the leisure nature of baseball, the conversation and the storytelling of that, of course, is a great aspect of broadcasting baseball and being able to tell those stories. And it's, of course, very fun to witness that.
Not to put you guys on the spot, but who's got the best story on YD?
Okay, so Andrew Marrero.
Andrew
UConn
Marrero.
Pitcher. He
Number
is,
40.
Yeah, he's incredible. First of all, he's really come into his own on the mound.
Yes.
And he's a guy that's going to be a back-end guy for UConn for a long time. And if you ask me, he's going to be drafted.
Beyond UConn, for sure.
Beyond UConn. He has a very high ceiling. Nicest guy in the world. He has this pitch, curveball, slider, called a slurve if you want. It's really a slider, a curveball rather, that he throws too hard. He calls it a slider. And that's what it is. He actually taught me how to throw it before the game, by the way. Go check it out on Twitter. And
Nice plug. That is a big
great
market
plug.
plug.
pitch of the
That's a
week.
great
pitch of the
plug.
week number 2. Okay, so you go check it out.
With Brad Klein.
It's not up yet. I have to go
Yeah.
put it together. But, yeah, it's
The
there.
first one's up there, though.
But he learned that pitch from one of his teammates at age 16 who was later killed in a drive-by. And there are a few things in baseball that make you really sentimental and make you take a step back. And something like that, such an integral part of Marrero's game that it's going to end up making him, if you ask me, a lot of money. It's going to take him very far in his career, and he got it from, in a way, a very unlikely place. So to me, that's incredible. And also, we were talking to him on his glove. He has "Strike Him Out" written in Spanish as a reminder to his father as a little homage to his father, who can't be at every game now that he's on the Cape and he's away from home. And that's something that his father would always yell to him.
Strike him out. Written on the
Pancho
glove.
Lopa, I think.
In Spanish,
I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Pancho Lopa. And I thought that's a cool story. Someone who came from the inner city, and he's the only guy on the UConn team to come from his hometown of New Haven. And so that's really nice story as well about him, who's just been really good for UConn the past couple years. And also Pat Gallagher, who they're close with, both teammates, and Gallagher
Roommates on the road.
A starting pitcher as well for the Red Sox as Lou pops this one up on the infield. Williams camped under it. There's one away.
But Jay, I'll tell you what else you're missing from baseball is, and I feel like this is especially true in baseball with so many games, summer atmosphere, you get really close with the players.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're covering a specific team. You have a beat on a team. In basketball and football, maybe you get some of that, but baseball, the dugout's there. Everyone's on the top rail pregame, during batting practice. You just go up to one of the players. Wyatt Hoffman's the starting second baseman. Hey, what's up, Wyatt? What's going on? Hey, what's up, Andrew? And that's something that I really value from covering baseball.
And that's another, I wouldn't say story, but Wyatt Hoffman, of course, with the relation to Trevor Hoffman. Hall of Fame closer.
Yeah, that kind of went under the radar. He was there. He was here yesterday.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't awesome for us. We were trying to get him on the broadcast, and he was kind of incognito. It was a little Where's Waldo action for Trevor Hoffman.
Well, Trevor Hoffman would have been a much better get than me for your broadcast, so.
I don't know about that.
I do know.
We got a great guest today.
How about Cody Huff, who's now making his way to second base, playing for Stanford?
Yeah.
It was less than a week ago that I was watching him on ESPN in the College World Series. I mean, just boom, Omaha to the Cape, direct flight.
And now, and just to bring it back, he's actually my roommate now. And I was talking to him about Omaha a little bit. Has some crazy stories about Omaha. He actually told me that he was more concerned, more worried, and nervous about his first Cape at-bat than he was in Omaha. Believe that.
I get it, though. Look at the 40, 50 scouts sitting right behind the home plate here. I mean, I'd have some nerves, too.
Yeah, and every move here, it seems like every at-bat, every pitch thrown is calculated by the scouts. And
you see that black box up there? That's the TrackMan. Spin rate, exit velocity, vertical and horizontal movement on every pitch. So it's not just the major leagues that they really calculate that.
Well, in the world of analytics, who would have thought that spin rate would get you drafted, 20 years ago, right? But didn't even know what it was, and it's crazy to me how far the game has come in that aspect of it.
And I almost wonder how long it takes the other sports, the footballs, the basketballs, and the lacrosses of the world to follow, because there are numbers to track success and to track how to win in those sports. We just really haven't discovered them yet. Baseball, as an established sport, has been studied and analyzed and annotated more than any other.
Yeah, and of course, when we talk about analytics and you bring somebody into a conversation, it's a loaded question to say, hey, are you an analytics guy? Because I hear people say that a lot, but at the end of the day, it's information, and that information's always been there. However, now it's just tracked. Now they, it's not like pitchers didn't have spin rate back then. We just didn't know what it was because we didn't have the tools to gather that information. But, of course, you've seen in sports across the board, information plays a big role. Science plays a big role in helping the players develop, as Peyton Graham strikes out with 2 aboard here in the 5th.
But, Jay, it's working into your sports. It's working into basketball, especially the load management stuff. That's the analytics department there, and the threes, the three-point barrages that you see. That's all the numbers. So
Go for 2.
Go for 2. Yeah, there you go. Never punt.
Football. Yeah.
So that baseball is the first sport, I feel like, but your sports are no exception. That's for sure.
What are your thoughts on the data and information?
You an analytics guy?
And science integration into sports.
I'm really not. I am a meat and potatoes kind of guy.
He's a long guy.
I just feel like you gotta pass the eye test. You could have all the right numbers and metrics and everything, but I don't know. I've always been an eye test guy. I guess that makes me old school, even for a younger broadcaster. But That's just how I am.
And the Y-D Red Sox, if you look at the eye test, they're trailing right now 1-0.
They are, but I'll tell you what, they've made some great plays in the field. Outside of me jinxing poor Franklin and giving up the solo shot, I've been really impressed with Y-D tonight. They make very few errors.
Yeah, it's a clean team. Now, here's the deal, Jay. I'll leave you with this. As someone who is not the most baseball-inclined person in the world,
Yes.
one of the things I love about baseball, and one of the reasons it's my favorite sport, is because it is the most forgiving game out there. You make an error at second base, you're going to have an opportunity to make up for it at the plate. So I'm going to give you one chance right now to make up for the kibosh you threw on the Red Sox.
Well, is Franklin going back out to the mound?
I don't know. Do you want him to go back?
I want to because he's going to mow everybody down. Look, he's only given up 2 hits. He's pitched terrific.
My educated guess is no. But there he is.
Yeah.
Hey, just walked out there.
Okay.
Educated guess looked like it was incorrect.
I mean, I've got to
Not very educated.
I've got to stay with you then through Franklin, and then hopefully
Okay.
my guy Jonathan Brandt gets in at the. What are we? Bottom. We're going to be
This
top
is top
6.
6. Yeah.
Okay.
Top of the 6th. And Franklin warming up, of course. And who knew that he was going to go 6 frames before the game? Talking to him yesterday. For Y-D this year, another story's been the starting pitching. Through 9 games, 8 times the starter has gone 5+. So just one time they haven't. And Franklin, no exception here, going to be working in his 6th. But he was supposed to be an opener
Yeah,
today.
before the game, you said, we've got a guy from Western Carolina. He's going to be the opener.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, 1, maybe 2 innings. Here he is in the 6th. Credit, you know what? It's a credit to the manager. He's going with a hot hand. This guy's pitching extremely well. Now, I've got a question for you guys.
Hit me.
So you've been on the Cape for how long now? How long have you been doing games?
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
that
Couple
right?
weeks, yeah.
When you see either a pitcher or a batter, first time you're seeing him, maybe it's an opponent you're seeing for the first time, do you say to yourself, that guy's a pro?
Yes.
We said that about a guy who played yesterday, actually.
Yeah,
who
we
is
could
that?
say. I mean, you want to be slightly unprofessional? Brooks Lee's a major leaguer. How's that? I mean, Brooks Lee's an absolute major leaguer.
Why is that unprofessional? I'm genuinely curious.
Well, I don't know, because there's such a long way for him to go. He's not even draft eligible yet.
Got it.
It's like calling a high school player. It's kind of like calling a high school football player an NFL player.
I do that every Friday
Okay,
on
yeah,
ESPN.
fair enough. So it's a little different though because you're doing showcases largely, right? And you're doing games that ESPN handpicks because of players that will likely be in the NFL. So there's a little
But
different
this is
here.
similar
It's
on the
slightly
baseball
similar.
side.
So okay, maybe it's not. Brooks Lee is a major leaguer. And he's a guy, and I'm genuinely upset that you missed him. Because
And he has a really good story as well when you talk about stories.
And here's a guy who turned down first-round money coming out of high school.
Really?
Just to go to Cal
Multi-millions.
Poly.
Yep.
Just to go to Cal Poly to play for his father, and now he's going to end up making more money
Yeah, he's
because he's going to be a top 10 pick likely next
top
year.
10 pick, 2022. He's the top-ranked hitter right now in the 2022 draft
Some
class.
people think he should go number
Yeah,
one. He's a
he could
switch-hitting
be-
shortstop.
Yeah, switch-hitting shortstop. His last game was yesterday. Hit a home run, 3-run home run.
Don't shortchange him. It was a 430.
Well, the day
home
before,
run.
yeah. He had 3 home runs in his last 4 games, and one of them went 430 feet into the wind with a wood bat. So
Yeah.
Wow.
he can hit the ball pretty hard, doesn't strike out much, doesn't make many errors. So there's, everything to love about him. First-team All-American, shortstop from Cal Poly.
And Will, you make a great observation there, as that's hit right up the middle. Wood bat. Because I'm sitting down on the first base line, and the first pitch of the game, I just hear the crack of that wood bat, and I'm thinking, wow, wood bats in the Cape League. So for a lot of these guys, that's a new experience.
It is for a lot of them because some of the elite players, whether you're
Mm-hmm.
a freshman or a senior, you're going to be on the Cape, right? So there are some freshmen here. Peyton Graham, it just came off of his freshman year at Oklahoma.
COVID freshman, yeah.
His COVID freshman year, and so now he's playing summer ball for the first time and playing in a wood bat league for the first time. And the players do say it does take a while to get used to. It's not just even if you barrel it up, it's not going to go as far as aluminum. The grip is different. The bat path is different. It's just a different ball game. And Chase Luttrell, who I've spoken to a lot, he's an outfielder for Y-D. He especially spoke to the learning curve that comes with a wood bat.
And it's the Cape, of course, so far, it's been a pitcher's league. Pitchers, early on, they've been dominating. But talking with other people and people who've been around the Cape, that's pretty normal. The first few weeks, pitchers are going to have success, but then the tables can turn once you've seen some guys. Hitters have gotten adjusted to the wood that, but also on the weekends, you're playing at the collegiate level. You're just on the weekends. Here, you're playing 6 days a week, so you also have to get adjusted to seeing a great arm, maybe some schools' Friday night guy every day.
There's a fatigue factor
Yeah.
there, certainly, especially in the first couple of weeks of a new season. The other thing that I would say about it in terms of why are the pitchers more effective, look at what's going on in Major League Baseball right now, and I don't know if that has an effect on anything. I know people are speculating that could be the ball, that could be people using, some sticky substance. I know that Max Scherzer's, out there dropping his pants in the middle of a baseball game. I've never seen that before, but I do think the game, maybe in this analytic era, if you will, is going to continue to favor the pitchers.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. The Cape is actually no exception to potentially some sticky stuff happening. There was an allegation out there a little bit, actually very recently, and the Cape right now is just following NCAA rules, and the NCAA rulebook doesn't say that you can't use X, Y, and Z that might be being used. So definitely frowned upon.
Of course.
Against the unofficial, unwritten rules, and probably against the future rules that you would have to imagine will follow Major League Baseball.
Brad, you mentioned earlier, are you a baseball guy or are you not? And I said I'm not. Part of that is there's so many unwritten rules for you baseball broadcasters to keep track of.
Yes. Yeah, there are. And the probably the most challenging thing about the unwritten rules is that some people follow them and some people don't, right? So one pitcher might get mad at a too slow home run trot, Madison Bumgarner, and another might not even blink twice. So you never really know who you're dealing with.
Lou fields the bunt, throws it over to first. Baez applies the tag. There's one away, but Wareham with a base runner in scoring position here in the sixth. Then you talk about unwritten rules. Did an unwritten rule come into play in the top of the fifth when Wareham hit a home run? Unwritten rule, don't talk about a no-hitter.
Oh, yeah, big time.
That is an error. There should be one error on the board for the broadcast booth tonight, and that's on me.
Oh, and it's over. Zach Franklin's day is done.
A terrific night, truly.
So a nice outing for Franklin. A call to the bullpen. We'll tell you all about the new pitcher for the Y-D Red Sox next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. A pitching change. Coach Pickler goes to the bullpen, and he goes to one of his better arms, the hard-throwing right-hander from Oklahoma, hometown of Las Vegas. And the right-hander, 4 scoreless frames. Last time he was on the mound on the 26th against Orleans. He was really unhittable in that outing. Coming up in a spot with a runner on second, 1 away here in the 6th against Tommy Troy. And a check over on second. But Godman has looked really good as we're alongside ESPN's Jay Alter. Brad Klein with me as well. The pitching change, though, made. Franklin did throw the ball really effectively in a nice start. Another nice start for a Y-D pitcher.
Yeah, it was a big deal for Zach Franklin to give this team some length. And a day where they thought they were going to have to burn a lot of bullpen. And here comes Jared Godman, a guy that we both expected to slide into the starter role for next week. So a little surprised to see him here. Maybe it's a bullpen in anticipation for that start, but this is a guy coming off the 4 innings, and usually he'd be down for a little bit longer.
3 days
it's only
rest
been
is
3 days.
Through 4 innings.
Usually at this level, you're going to see, after 3 or 4 innings pitch, you're going to see a week off, and Godman is back at it. You have to wonder how long he's in here for. Zach Jacobs is really hot. He needs some work out in the bullpen. Maybe just here to get a couple of outs, work Y-D out of trouble, and then it's off to Jacobs.
Jacobs a clean frame, but Godman really good. If you look at his arm action, we talked to him actually after his 4 scoreless innings. He'll come from here. He'll come.
Oh, yeah.
No one can hear me, but he'll come from the side. He'll also come from the top. He'll mix up his arm action, and at low 90s, he has the splitter, the fastball, the changeup. His stuff really plays, and he's able to mix and match his arm action and still keep good location. Really talented right-hander out of Oklahoma.
And Jay, I know we keep on going back to lacrosse. I don't want to pigeonhole you here, but, you know.
You have all night,
lacrosse.
but that's fine. No, I'm kidding.
I'm sorry. But that is a big similarity, the arm angle for a pitcher.
100%.
After the base knock from Tommy Troy, though, Godman's first batter he faces surrenders the base knock through the shortstop third baseman hole to left field, and that brings up the third place hitter in the lineup, Cade Kern. So up in a pretty big spot, Godman trying to work out of some trouble, hoping to induce a ground ball. 1 out, but runners on the corners at first and third, a 1-0 lead for the Gatemen as we play in the top of the 6th. Cade Kern up to the plate. And he grounded into a 6-4-3 double play back in the 4th. Y-D's trying to order the same thing up here.
Will, and if I'm a scout, this is the type of situation that I want to see out in the Cape Cod League. You've got a batter with a runner in scoring position, 1 out, potential. You don't want to see him hitting a double play here. And then how does a pitcher work out of a jam like this?
Yeah.
These are the situational baseball type things that you can only get by coming to the Cape Cod, seeing a real game.
Yeah, and at the 6th, coming out of the bullpen, high leverage situations, who's going to perform? And that's fun every time, every pitch, every at-bat. The hitter is trying to beat the pitcher and vice versa. So all the athletes competing out here, and of course a big situation here.
And this is the eye test you were talking about, Jay. The spin rate, the exit velocity, it's going to be just as impressive on paper in the 1st as it is in the 9th. But these situations, you're right, they're a big deal.
So Godman comes set, 0-1 the count, 1 away. Runners on the corners, a 1-run lead for the Gatemen, but they're looking to add on with a run 90 feet away, as they have a slim 1-run advantage. Both teams with 4 hits here tonight.
And Jay, Godman's a guy who a lot consider to be a fringe draft pick. So a situation like this in the Cape could be big for him.
The stock could rise. 0-1 the count as the pitch misses upstairs, and to make it an even bigger spot when you look at the situation with Kern at the plate. You've got Owen Diodati on deck, who's been the league's best hitter so far. 3 home runs, hit a ton of home runs this past spring at Alabama, and was the Cape Cod Player of the Week, named on Monday after the first week of play. He's waiting on deck, so Wareham trying to put together, this is their opportunity with the meat of the order up and just 1 away. So I was interested to see how Godman can respond to this situation here, coming out of the bullpen, trying to finish the inning that Franklin started. Swing and a miss. Huff throws down to second. Hoffman applies the tag, and he got him 2 away. And now Godman's just 1 pitch away from getting out of the jam. The second runner that Huff catches dead meat at second base.
And it's the second time that Tommy Troy is caught at second base, too. Unbelievable how Cody Huff is still not respected after showing off the hose in the first inning. Here we get to the sixth. And a prime opportunity for Wareham to break the game open, and now you've completely taken the double play out of play. Not that Y-D needs it anymore with 2 outs, and you're just helping them out.
That ball fouled back, and Tommy Troy had his first game yesterday with the Gatemen. Went 2 for 5, had 2 stolen bases. Now he comes in the first, gets thrown out by Cody Huff. As you mentioned, back here in the sixth, gets thrown out by Cody Huff. Had 2 stolen bases. After he got caught the first time on Huff, he was more out on that one. The play in the first was closer. Huff knew that he wants to run. He wasn't any more reluctant to run even after being caught the first time. As that ball is popped up, Baez goes back to get it. Hoffman calls him off, makes the catch, and Godman comes out of the bullpen and gets out of it. Runners on the corners and just 1 away, but Jarrett Godman comes in to get the job done. To the bottom of the 6th we go on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. A 1-0 score. Big thanks to Jarrett Godman and Cody Huff getting out of that jam last half frame. And now in the bottom of the 6th, 3, 4, and 5 due up, but Y-D with their work cut out for him. Reliever on the mound, Cole Simas, 4 innings, 7 strikeouts against the Red Sox last time the two teams met when Wareham topped Y-D. Still alongside ESPN's Jay Alter. It's been a pleasure to have you alongside us in the booth. We've seen a lot of fun on the diamond here at Red Wilson Field today, and as soon as you've got to the booth, the game seems like it's just gotten better.
No, well, I wouldn't say that, but it's been a joy to watch since I've been here. Again, first time on Cape Cod, first time watching a Cape Cod League baseball game after hearing so much about it. So impressed with the broadcast you guys have put on tonight and also the play from our great athletes on the field.
And some great plays today. Of course, in left field, Owen Diodati had a diving play. We've seen 2 double plays turned on the infield, 1 from each team. 2 runners caught stealing.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of defensive plays over at third. Zach Liu has made some great plays. Wyatt Hoffman made a nice play at second. Pascal Ferreras, who started that turn of the 6-4-3. So the defense has been the theme today, of course, with the 1-0 score. But Y-D trying to change that with 3-4-5 due up in the lineup. But going up against the hurler from San Diego State, Fresno, California hometown, and someone who's been pretty impressive so far this season for the Gatemen.
And Chase Luttrell in a big spot here. And I was actually talking to him after his last game. He had a couple of hits, had his first double of the season as a Red Sox, and he just told me that it was very important for him to get on base and get those hits early. Had a single and a double in his first 2 at-bats because he has a really tough time seeing the baseball at Red Wilson Field when the sun starts to set, no lights here, and it's really important to him. Those first 2 at-bats are incrementally important and give him the better chance to get a hit than the last 2. And so Chase Luttrell with the free pass there, but that's something that has really made its way into play and has really trickled into the stats is the elements at Red Wilson.
Yeah, you mentioned seeing the baseball. He sees the baseball go away from the bottom of the strike zone on a full count. Good plate discipline by Luttrell, who leads the team in free passes, but free passes haven't been so kind to the Y-D Red Sox. They're last in the league in drawing walks, and they're about middle of the pack in strikeout rate. About 20% of the time on the plate appearances, Y-D batters are striking out, and that bumped up a little bit yesterday after 17 Ks for Y-D Red Sox hitters. But Luttrell aboard, Baez at the plate. Coming into today, he was 7 for his past 16. Bumped his average up to 313. He's 0 for 1 today with a hit by pitch back in the 4th. Misses low. Luttrell advances to second, so tying run now in scoring position for the cleanup hitter Nate Baez out of Arizona State.
That's a great play by Luttrell. Good awareness of the situation, knowing that Y-D really, really needs a base runner in scoring position and making it happen. They haven't really had a real threat since, you want to call it, the first inning. So, Jay, I'm curious here. You're here to talk, or rather to watch Jonathan Branch, sister-in-law's boyfriend, or no?
Yep, you got it right. Sister-in-law's boyfriend, yep.
All right,
My wife's younger sister's boyfriend, yes.
I wasn't confident going into that.
You're good. No, you nailed it.
All right, so he hasn't pitched yet. He's pitching for Wareham, coming from Miami, Ohio. And we all know he's going to pitch. I'm not speaking this into existence.
Yes.
What will be your reaction if he does not pitch?
Oh, I'd be surprised. I mean, we drove out here.
Drove a pretty long
That
way.
being said, with the Cape Cod League doing such a great job with his YouTube streams, we've already seen him pitch at the Cape because he pitched the other night, 4 innings, did not give up a single hit. It was really awesome to watch him. So he pitched so well, we were like, you know what? Let's get in the car, drive up, and see him in action. So hopefully we'll see him coming up in the next couple of innings.
So pinch hitter now into the game, Tanner Smith. Nate Baez had the ground out. Chase Luttrell didn't advance, so there's 1 away after the out by Nate Baez. No advancement by Luttrell, and a pinch hitter, Tanner Smith, comes to the plate. Was in the 2-hole yesterday, but then was pinch hit for by Tyler Williams after he had 3 ground balls to the second baseman. But he comes up in a spot here with a chance to come through off the bench. Ball scoots away from Samillo, the backstop, and it's Luttrell who advances to third. And the job gets a little easier for the third-team All-American from Oregon, Tanner Smith, coming off the bench with an opportunity. A fly ball, even a ground ball to the right side, can bring home that tying run. He's pinch hitting, though, for Drew Compton, who hit into a double play back in the 4th. 0 for his last 9, so Coach Pickler switches it up, goes with the lefty, Tanner Smith. Infield does come in, though, with Luttrell on third.
And that's something that Luttrell does very well, is figure out a way to get into position for Y-D. Makes the little things happen. First to third on a base hit to right field. It's a big deal. It's one of the reasons he is yet to have an off day. They can't afford to have him sit.
That pitch misses low outside the strike zone here. Tanner Smith at the plate. Chase Luttrell on third. Wyatt Hoffman on deck. He's 0 for 2 today, but was 6 for his last 12 coming into today's game. One of Y-D's hottest hitters. Simus comes set. And the pitch misses low. A 4-pitch walk to Tanner Smith. And it maybe could have been an intentional, unintentional, intentional walk with, okay, now we've got a guy on first, double play in effect. Infield now goes back, and that brings up Wyatt Hoffman. 4 uncompetitive pitches there from Simus, and now it's going to be a mound visit. We may have a pitching change. We will see.
They got to put in Brand.
I want it to happen for you, too, badly.
They need his curveball, I'm telling you.
6 hours? What is that?
No, it was only 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It seems as though...
Give us the scouting report on this guy.
Great curve.
Oh, we're going to see him. All right, this is the curveball.
Really, really good curve.
Well, not to rain on your parade, but Ethan Chenault looks like he's getting hot in the bullpen for Wareham.
Wow. Hey, look, you guys are the professionals.
But I could be completely wrong.
No,
I
you're
could
probably
be
right. But to give you the scout, even if he doesn't get in,
let's hear the scouting report.
Great curveball. He's definitely done enough to get drafted. I don't know. Drafts the 11th through the 13th. Don't know when you'll hear his name, but you should. And really, he's got great stuff. He just throws strikes. And I've watched baseball my whole life. That usually is a good thing, and it's been a really fun to watch him pitch the last couple of years and continue to improve.
First pitch inside to Wyatt Hoffman. So it was Cole Simus who worked himself into trouble in this situation because he issued 2 free passes. Now runners on the corners. Luttrell at third. He advanced all the way to third with the ball getting away from Samillo. The ball gets away there. Chase Luttrell comes home to score. Just talking about Luttrell being able to advance with the ball getting by Samillo. It does there, and we're all knotted up. 1-1 score here in the bottom of the 6th.
That's how it's done. Chase Luttrell puts himself in a position to succeed, and Cole Simus is absolutely rattled. Right there, that's 3 breaking balls in this inning with a runner on base that got away from Samillo, and sure, he probably should have stopped him, but all to the backstop, and Luttrell scores.
Wyatt Hoffman fouls that pitch away. That breaks a streak of 5 consecutive balls thrown by the right-hander out of San Diego State. Simus looked really good against the Red Sox last time, but 2 walks. Chase Luttrell with the walk, Baez with the ground out, and then pinch hitter Tanner Smith draws the 4-pitch walk. He's on second base. So the go-ahead run in scoring position. That ball hit well to the left side by Wyatt Hoffman. It's down. Tanner Smith comes around to score, and Hoffman has himself a double. Another run comes across, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Y-D Red Sox in the bottom of the 6th. Wyatt Hoffman with an RBI double off the reliever Simus with 1 gone here in the 6th, and it's a 2-1 Red Sox lead.
All right there, that is the forgiving nature of baseball. Wyatt Hoffman committing that error in the first. Zach Franklin bailed him out of it, but coming up in a big spot, struck out earlier in the game, and an RBI double to give Y-D the lead.
We're going to take a quick timeout. 2-1 lead for the Y-D Red Sox after Wyatt Hoffman comes through with the go-ahead RBI on the double to left field. We'll take a quick timeout, tell you about the new pitcher next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. A runner on second base. That's Wyatt Hoffman. He came through with the go-ahead RBI double. A swing and a miss on the pitch from the new relief pitcher into the game, Ethan Chenault from North Carolina, Wilmington, hometown of Forest, Virginia. Last through on the 26th. Last Saturday against Bourne. Went 1 inning, 1 hit allowed, and 1 strikeout, but faced the minimum during that frame. But now coming into a situation where relief pitcher Cole Simas just went 1/3 of an inning. Got 1 out here in the 6th after really impressive performance from Swanson, the starting pitcher from Lehigh. But it's Y-D who gets to the bullpen, and it's a ball that gets away from Samillo, and it's Hoffman who advances to third. So the balls have been losing control on the side of the pitchers this inning, and it continues even with a new reliever into the game, but it's Samillo, the ball getting past him, 4 pass balls in this inning.
Yes, that is an unacceptable number. You're getting the sign, you know what's coming, and sure, it's a lot lower than you thought it would be, but it's cost Wareham at least 1 run here and potentially the game.
In 4 bases, Luttrell took 2. Hoffman takes 1 there. The bunt attempt with Hoffman on third goes foul. So you've got Cody Huff at the plate. He's had a pretty nice day thus far.
I don't like that bunt move with
Don't
Cody
like it.
Huff. No,
2 for 2 today?
Yeah, he's 2 for
Yep.
2, and he's a catcher, and the infield is in. So if he bunts it too strong, that's an easy out at home with Wyatt Hoffman running on contact.
You've got Hoffman at third. He had the go-ahead double. That ball grounded to the left side. Y-D looking for some insurance. They hadn't scored until the bottom of the 6th, and it was Chase Luttrell, the leadoff walk, which came around to score on a ball that got away from Samillo. He advanced to second on a pass ball, third on a pass ball, and home on a pass ball. And then Hoffman advances to third on a pass ball, but Luttrell's able to score on a pass ball, and then Hoffman comes through to score Tanner Smith on the go-ahead double to left field with 1 away. The 2-2, it's grounded to the left side. Hoffman's going home. It's going to be a play at the plate, and now Hoffman's caught in between. He tries to get into a rundown, and that brings Huff to go take second base. So good for Hoffman to at least try to make the rundown so you could still have a runner in scoring position, but it was a heads-up play by Jarvis. Hoffman was going on contact to the left side, and he knew he was going to be out, got in the rundown, and it's 2 away. Runner on second here for Zach Liu.
So that is a fielder's choice 5-2-5 if you're scoring at home. But
We've got a ton of people scoring at home, don't
yeah,
we?
Yeah, I'm sure. But Wyatt Hoffman with very poor base running there. Very poor base running. He went a few feet off the bag, which is what you're supposed to do. But with his speed, I want him waiting for the ball to leave the hand of Justin Williams. Otherwise, a little fake, and what do you have? You have a pickoff 90 feet away from a run, the third of the inning and the third of the game for Y-D. That is a mistake that later on could come back to bite you.
And after Simas was effective against the Y-D Red Sox last time out, they got to him this time. Just a third of an inning and a swing and a miss on the pitch from Ethan Chenault, who's come out of the bullpen to try to get the final 2 outs here in the 6th. He's got 1, and it was Cody Huff just last at bat who grounded out. And then it was Hoffman who was cut off the base paths. He went on contact. 0-2 count here. And the pitch to Liu. Misses outside. So the Y-D Red Sox atop the East Division and atop right now the Wareham Gatemen by a run in the bottom of the 6th. Swanson shut down the Red Sox. But here in this frame, they have the big double from Wyatt Hoffman after Luttrell and Smith both walked. Both walks come around to score, and both are runs, the walks that Simas gave up. But a big portion of those runs, of course, coming from the pass balls from Samillo behind the plate. A 1-ball, 2-strike count here to Zach Liu, who walked in the 2nd and popped up to the third baseman Williams back in the 5th. And here in the 6th, seeing if he can't give Y-D an insurance run as we turn toward the later innings.
And this half inning is dedicated to anyone that believes that defense doesn't matter in baseball. Nick Samilla with those pass balls, that's been the difference.
The pitch from Chenault, swing and a miss, so Chenault comes in and gets the final 2 outs in the 6th with ease, but not before Y-D comes through. Wyatt Hoffman with the go-ahead RBI double to left field, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Y-D Red Sox as we send it to the 7th next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
Back here in the top of the 7th inning, Brad Klein and Will Connolly, glad to be with you from Red Wilson Field on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Don't look now, but Y-D leads 2-1 over Wareham. Got a 2 spot in the last inning, the bottom of the 6th, thanks to some sloppy backstop play by Nick Samilla.
And why not look now?
Don't.
I'm looking. I'm also looking at a really good relief pitcher, Godman, effective 3 days rest through 4 innings.
And Jared Godman forces a weak foul ball over the backstop and out of play to Owen Diodati. He came in and was the recipient of some good fortune, caught stealing Tommy Troy. Didn't learn his lesson in the first inning when Cody Huff caught him at second base. An identical play in the 6th to get out number 2. And then, as that one is clocked to deep right field, chasing back is Luttrell. He's a spectator. It is gone. Owen Diodati, the 2nd home run in as many days, the 4th of the season. And the Bambino continues to rank. That's the equalizer, 2-2 in the top of the 7th.
You were right. Don't look now. And now you look, and it's a tie score. Owen Diodati, though, what else can you say? Not only his 2nd in as many games, his 2nd against the Y-D Red Sox, his 4th of the season. He's been the best hitter in the league so far. Crushed the ball at Alabama. He's doing the same here in the Cape Cod.
So Jared Godman has actually only recorded 1 out himself. That came as a pop-out in the 6th inning, a final out of the 6th, and gives up the leadoff home run to Owen Diodati. Delivers a first pitch low for ball 1 to Justin Williams, who homered his last time up in the 5th. And Williams clocks that one to deep center field, chasing back is Knight. That one's gone too. Back-to-back home runs for Wareham to take a 3-2 lead in the top of the 7th inning. Owen Diodati and Justin Williams tag team to take the lead.
And Wareham, they can smack the baseball. They can hit home runs, the middle of the order doing just that. And Williams coming through for his team, his 2nd home run here today. You saw in the 5th, he broke up the no-hitter, and now hits it in the 7th against Godman. Coming into this game was hitting a .179, but 2 home runs, and he puts his team ahead here in the 7th.
So Wareham now leads 3-2 in the top of the 7th inning. Still no 1 out. And a first pitch fastball fouled out of play by Angelo Despina, 0 for 2 on the day. A line out and a strikeout. So Jared Godman showing some senses of humanity here. Early on, he looked really good. And we go back to that 4-inning relief appearance where he did not give up a single run. That came in the 8-7 win against Orleans on June 26th. 3 hits allowed, and now he's only gone a third of an inning and has given up 2 hits, both home runs.
Yeah, 2 home runs surrendered in back-to-back fashion to begin the 7th for Godman. He had the 4 frames of work, and he had a few days of rest. Has been really nasty out of the bullpen, but 2 pitches that were crushed by Wareham. Justin Williams with 2 home runs today. Slow start to the season, but there's a reason he's a mainstay in the order.
1-1 the count now to Angelo Despina, the first baseman who looks up to Derek Jeter as his favorite player. Admired the work that he put in and the passion that he played with. Now in a big spot. See if he can pull up like Captain Clutch, too. 2 balls and 1 strike with no one out in the top of the 7th inning. The bases are clear, but the runs are simmering for Wareham. Back-to-back home runs to start off this frame. And Despina lays off the fastball that tails outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Some action in the Red Sox bullpen there. So you have to imagine that Jared Godman is nearing the end. And the righty deals. Oh, a nice breaking ball. And Despina way ahead of it. He needed a big swing and a miss there. Count is now full with no one out.
393 feet on the Williams home run. And his first home run went 405 feet. So he's had a couple big blasts today.
The Oklahoma Sooner kicks and deals. Slider taken just low for ball 4.
And now expect the action to pick up its pace. Home run, walk to start the 7th for Godman.
Jared Godman was absolutely unhittable just a few days ago, and now not the case. A new pitcher coming out as Scott Pickler is out to take the ball. A 3-2 ball game in the top of the 7th inning between Wareham and Y-D. We'll be right back on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, it's still the top of the 7th inning, and Wareham, blink of an eye, they lead 3-2. Back-to-back home runs by Owen Diodati and Justin Williams to start off this frame. against Jarrett Godman, and that's why he's out of the game. Reed McLaughlin is in. The BYU Cougar with 4 innings of scoreless baseball under his belt, and a bunt down the third base line, touched foul on the first pitch by Brannigan.
That ball had a little English on it and bouncing foul, but for McLaughlin, I mean, he threw really well against Orleans, was really efficient, easily could have gone back out for the third, but they wanted to get more guys in there. 2 innings, 19 pitches of scoreless baseball, and you nailed it. 4 scoreless on the year. He's been a really nice fixture in the bullpen. They've thrown him a few times, and he's had success both times. And a time here that Y-D needs someone to get in and get out of trouble. One reliever struggles, you've got more hot guys in the bullpen trying to get it done.
A 2.62 ERA for McLaughlin at BYU. And the breaking ball just outside. 1-1 the count now to Brannigan, the DH. Now McLaughlin, not much rest for him. Just 2 days to decompress from those 2 innings, which is
low
fair.
stress, though. 19
low stress,
pitches.
19 pitches. But still, there are some other arms. We expected to see Zach Jacobs as the slider is in there for strike 2. He still hasn't been out there.
Yeah, that was the
a guy
initial plan.
Who was supposed to not only be in, but to give Y-D some length, too. And now we're already in the 7th inning. Can't imagine that Jacobs is going to get in this frame.
Or
especially
later
if
in the
McLaughlin
game.
has anything to do to say about it.
Yeah, it's a great point, and you wonder when they're going to use him next.
1-2, breaking ball, poked foul, out of play down the first base side.
But this is where in-game management comes into play. You came in with a plan, and the plan was for Franklin to go a couple, Jacobs to go a couple. Okay, flip it to your back end. However, Franklin pitched really well until the no-hitter was broke up in the top of the 5th, and the plan got shifted.
And McLaughlin just misses again, so Brannigan working the count on McLaughlin to start off his outing today. 2 balls and 2 strikes. With a runner on first, Wareham has a 1-run lead after 2 solo home runs propelled them to that 3-2 differential. Jack Brannigan from Notre Dame, Orland Park, Illinois native, 6'1", 190 junior. Hit .295 this past year. Grounds up the middle, could be 2. On to second, Hoffman fires over to first. In time, got him. 6-4-3, Ferreras to Hoffman to Baez. And 2 outs when McLaughlin needed them the most.
You think they have a little chemistry? 2 6-4-3s turned today. First time that combination's playing together up the middle, but they've turned 2 6-4-3s with great work right there. Middle infield, you need good chemistry to shift the ball around up the middle, and they did a great job of that. But come on, McLaughlin coming in out of the bullpen, first guy, gets the ground ball double play. Great work right there.
So here's Jimmy Crooks coming in to pinch hit for the catcher, Nick Samillo. Crooks a catcher in his own right, but he hits from the left side. Sophomore at Oklahoma. We just saw his teammate Jarrett Godman get booted from this game. And the breaking ball is in there for strike 1.
And Samillo, of course, had some issues behind the plate on the defensive side, but was 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts, and they want to flip things and switch things around, put a lefty up for Crooks.
1-1 the count with a runner on first, rather a clear base path after the 6-4-3 double play, and still a 1-run lead for Wareham. Foul ball, 1-2. Now Crooks hit .284 this past year as a redshirt sophomore, transferred from McLennan College after the COVID season. That one skied out to deep left center field. Knight chasing, and he can't get there. One hops the wall. Crooks on his way to second. It's a 2-out double for Jimmy Crooks, and Wareham might not be done in the top of the 7th.
They come off the bench, go to a pinch hitter, and you get the double with 2 gone. McLaughlin left that pitch up, and it was a few feet away from going over the fence. It was good warning track power here at Red Wilson Field. But now facing the bottom of the order, want to turn it over to the offense. who now will have their work cut out for them in their final 3 team at-bats, 7th, 8th, and 9th, to try to come back. And they're no stranger to that, but need to get out of it first.
Here's Cade Fergus, 0 for 2 on the day, struck out his last time up. McLaughlin, the changeup gets away from him for ball 1.
But Brad, we have another just really good game. I mean, back and forth action. All 3 runs, though, for Wareham, solo home runs.
Cade Fergus, a .299 career hitter at GW. Slider misses low, 2-0. Now, you kind of alluded to it. Cade Fergus, as that 9 hitter, might be the guy that McLaughlin really wants to go up against, with Jim Jarvis looming on deck as that leadoff man to cue the top of the order. 2 balls, no strikes, runner on second. Wareham up 3-2 after a 2-spot and counting in the top of the 7th. McLaughlin deals strike down the middle, swung through by Fergus. The fastball got him. 2 balls and a strike. It was Jarrett Godman who came in the 6th inning, recorded 1 and we'll call it a half outs, got the caught stealing to help him out, and then a pop out. But after that, back-to-back home runs, a walk, got the double play. But actually that double play came from McLaughlin on Brannigan in relief of him. And a get me over strike gets over. I'll make that a ball. 3 balls and 1 strike. So now it's up to Reed McLaughlin to keep Y-D in the game. And a late time once again called at home plate. That's something we've actually seen a lot of today. But again, good on the pitcher McLaughlin to continue his motion. James Fonseca awarding a late time to Fergus, who was an all-star in the South Florida Collegiate Baseball League last summer. 3 balls and a strike with 2 outs, and Fergus slaps it foul down the third base side. So the count now full now full. Wareham up by 1, a chance to really make their mark, and what a way to respond to the 2 runs that Y-D scored in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Back-to-back home runs, and it was surprising. We haven't seen Godman really get hit hard at all. He does in that situation. Unfortunate for Y-D, but Wareham, their big guys got it done.
Payoff pitch, sails high, gets away from Cody Huff. A free pass for the hitter Fergus, and on his way to third is Jimmy Crooks. So Cody Huff just could not corral the elevated fastball that was pretty clearly unintentionally elevated on a full count. And now it's runners on the corners with 2 gone for the top of the order. And Jim Jarvis with a chip on his shoulder, 0 for 3 on the day. So far in this inning, between Godman and McLaughlin, it's been home run, walk, double play, double, and walk. Jim Jarvis, 1 for 4 against Y-D in the first bout, and the slider bends in for strike 1.
And Wareham, they took it to Y-D last time the 2 teams played at Wareham. Y-D has not lost a game in their last 4 games, 2 wins, 2 ties, trailing here.
Jarvis sitting right below the 300 mark on the year. Another breaking ball, and Jarvis with the bat on his shoulder again for strike 2. Now McLaughlin could really use a strikeout here. Had 3 going into this game in 2 appearances. Fastball, low and away, checked his swing, didn't go. And we'll get another pitch for Jim Jarvis. Now McLaughlin had the 1 strikeout against Orleans in the 0-0 tie, 2 innings pitched, and the 2 in his first appearance a week earlier against Harwich, both on the road. This is his home debut. A ball and 2 strikes, runners on the corners, and the fastball misses way outside for ball 2. So now McLaughlin trying to keep the ball out of the zone on the oh-so-dangerous Jim Jarvis when he's ahead of the count, and now the count is even for McLaughlin.
Got a battle right here, of course. Huge pitch. You want to get out of the frame.
Slider bends in on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Reed McLaughlin strands 2 runners on the corners and limits the damage in the top of the 7th. It's stretch time now as Wareham leads 3-2 right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Hey fans, Devadyme is the official website development company of the Y-D Red Sox. They designed and developed our league best website and helped us with marketing to bring more fans to the games and more people to our website. Devadyme helps organizations generate more leads and maximize their marketing budget. Check out Devadyme.com to learn more, and be sure to like Devadyme on Facebook. That's DEVADIGM.com. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, Brad Klein alongside Will Connerly in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Y-D all of a sudden with some ground to cover, down by 1, 3-2, after Wareham put up a 2-spot on 2 solo home runs off of Jarrett Godman, the righty from Oklahoma. New pitcher on the mound for Wareham as Pascal Ferreras checked his swing 3/4 for strike 1. It's Jonathan Brand. Condolences, Jay Alter. We had Jay Alter, ESPN broadcaster, and we'll call him indirectly related to Jonathan Brand, on for what, an inning and a half? It was a little while, and it turns out Jay Alter, well, Jonathan Brand, he went to go see Brand because it's his sister-in-law's boyfriend, and he's a big Jonathan Brand fan, as Ferreras goes down looking for out number 1. And the strikeouts continue to plague Ferreras. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th. I just feel bad for Jay at this point. That's pretty tough.
Was waiting all day.
He didn't want to talk to us. He just wanted to have a better view of Jonathan Brand.
I wonder what his view is now, but obviously came here to see him pitch. He was scheduled to pitch in the 5th, 6th, wasn't for sure, but of course a guy we got the scouting report on from Jay.
Yeah, that curveball.
And of course a guy who's projected to go in the top 15 rounds.
Peyton Graham slashes it foul down the right field line, now behind in the count 0-2.
Of course, most guys go in the top 15 rounds with only 20 rounds in the draft.
And Graham slashes it to the left side. Backhand play, Jarvis on to first. And Despina just could not scoop it out of the dirt. An infield single, depending on the ruling for Peyton Graham.
They put an error up on the board.
Either way, a 1-out base runner in the bottom of the 7th as Y-D trails by 1. So Graham is on base for the 2nd time today.
Both.
On the error by Jarvis, he's 6. And here comes Briley Knight. Grounded out to first his last time up. Fastball is in there for strike 1 tonight. By the way, I got a text from Jay. Quote, "Here we go," 2 exclamation marks. So he's excited.
He's excited.
I know, Jay. 1 exclamation mark is just for show. It's just cosmetic. 2 exclamation marks. That's legit.
Yeah, he's excited. I mean, he came a long way to come see him throw. It was nice to get him on the broadcast as well, but he was a microwave out there. He kept getting hot. We didn't know when he was going to come in. And now coming in probably a likely situation for a back-end reliever. Your team takes the lead. You want someone to close it out. You want someone to do strong at the end of a game. And he's trying to protect a 1-run lead now. So he's not just pitching. He's pitching in a big situation for Wareham.
Briley Knight could not connect on the bunt attempt. No balls and 2 strikes, now 1 out. And Peyton Graham off first base. And Knight grounds it slowly over to the right side. Ranging to his left is Troy. The second baseman makes the play for out number 2, but Peyton Graham scurries over to second base.
And talk about scurrying over. Troy moved to his left so quickly and got rid of it quickly as well. Briley Knight gave you a really hard 90 right there. And if it weren't for Troy getting rid of that ball so quickly, you would have had Knight reach. And a lot of second basemen can't get to that ball. He had to sprint over there. So a nice defensive play by Troy.
And Chase Luttrell pops it foul out of play to the left side. A big, big opportunity for Chase Luttrell, who's hitless today, reached on a fielder's choice in the first, grounded out in the third, and walked in the sixth, but he ended up scoring as he took second, third, and home, all on passed balls by Nick Samillo, the catcher. No balls and a strike, and Luttrell watches the breaking ball settle in for strike 2.
Now, obviously, new catcher now after the pinch hit, but either way, you're right. Big situation for Luttrell, who bumps up to the 3-hole after Brooks Lee is gone from the team. A chance to do damage here with the tying run on second base.
Luttrell is 4 for his last 10. No balls and 2 strikes with a speedy Graham on second base. Y-D down by 1. And the righty kicks and deals from Miami, Ohio. He misses on the fastball outside for ball 1. So Jonathan Brand at 5'9", 200. Hasn't really used that curveball that Jay was very high on. He used it a little bit early in the count. We'll see if it's his wipeout pitch. The 1-2. Fastball is bounced. A nice block by Jimmy Crooks, who just checked in for Nick Samillo. For that very reason, to keep the runners where they are on balls in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Chase Luttrell. Luttrell had 2 hits yesterday. His coming out party is a Red Sox. And chops it foul, just got a piece to stay alive.
And this is Brand's second appearance. His first appearance came against Orleans. That came last Friday. He got the start. But as Jay mentioned earlier, when we had him on the broadcast, they want to see him come out of the bullpen, likely what he's going to be in professional baseball, a reliever.
A 4.9 ERA this past year at Miami, Ohio. The 2-2. Grounded foul to the first base side. We'll do it again.
They transferred from East Georgia State after the 2019 season. Had 9 starts in a 3.99 ERA. Now has had 2 seasons at Miami, Ohio.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. And Luttrell just gets a piece of the curveball again. Well, this guy can tread water in any at-bat you give him. And he's been putting together some really, really good at-bats, even if he's not barreling up the baseball.
You put good at-bats together, you get rewarded. You put good swings on the baseball, you eventually get rewarded. And Chase Luttrell has really battled this year. Hasn't maybe had the best statistical start that he's liked, but he's really battled up at the plate, and he's been a tough out.
Luttrell goes down swinging. Guess what? On the curveball, side retired. Now Y-D strands a runner in scoring position. And after 4 batters, they go down in the bottom of the 7th. At the end of 7, Wareham 3 and Y-D 2 right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Hey, Sox fans, have you ever thought about buying or selling a home Emily Shemansky of the Salty Dog Group is your pet-friendly neighborhood realtor. As part of the team at Keller Williams Realty of Cape Cod and the Islands, Emily is your go-to resource for home buying and selling. Call Emily Shemansky at 508-221-0196 or visit thesaltydoggroup.kw.com. That's 508-221-0196 or visit thesaltydoggroup.kw.com. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Happy to be with you from Red Wilson Field. Wareham 3, Y-D 2. A traded 2-run innings in the bottom of the 6th and the top of the 7th. And now here we are in the top of the 8th inning. Ground ball to the left side, scooped up by Lou. Now he bobbles it and couldn't hacky sack it back. An E5 in the books and the leadoff base runner for Tommy Troy.
Lou has been solid today over there at third base. A tough play to be made over at third, but he comes up, tries to glove it, and then bobbles it. A tough play to make, though, for a third baseman. You have limited range. Usually the shortstop and second baseman, they can move a little bit more, but the third baseman at the hot corner, he had to move a ways to just get to that ball. Bobbled it, couldn't settle his feet. A tough play to be made.
The first error of the day. Make that second error of the day for Y-D, assuming they do rule it an error. And the first pitch breaking ball was slapped down to play for strike one to Cade Kern. Will, you think it might have been a hit?
No.
Body language? No. It's
no,
an error.
body language at the way you called that. But, of course, we don't go off what we think. We go off the official score.
As Kern skies it down the right field line, slicing to the foul line, and it's caught by Littrell, and advancing to second on the tag is Tommy Troy. Well, I'm confused. You agree with me or not? I'm thinking it's an error in my book.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm thinking it's an error, but in my book, I have to put in what they put on the scoreboard, and I don't see another error put up there.
We're going to get the official ruling when we go to break, and we'll come back with it.
But I believe, for all indications on the scoreboard, as our point streak hasn't been up, at least for us, is a hit. But I do agree with you, and I know it's a hard job as the official score. You have to decipher the hits and the errors, and there's no exact science on what constitutes a hit and what constitutes an error. But we all have our feelings, right?
We do. This is true. This is something that Jay doesn't have to worry about in lacrosse or basketball or football. Everything is by the book. Did you get the yard or not? Did you make the basket or not?
Official ruling is a hit, though. We just got confirmed from the official score.
And McLaughlin checking back the runner at second base. That's Tommy Troy, who reached on a single, as I corrected in my book, not an error, and got to second on the tag. And you fly out to Cade Kern in right field.
And Lou did have to move a ways to get to that ball, but when a fielder gets to it and bobbles it, it's tough. But I know you always side, of course, or I try to, with the official score, because I know it's a tough job. You're always going to have, if you rule it an error, people may yell at you. If you rule it a hit, people yell at you. So you have to just make a decision. And, of course, when an infielder bobbles it, you typically do see that called an error, but not this time.
No balls in the strike to Owen Diodati. He launched a home run his last time up. And the two-seam fastball misses high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Reed McLaughlin, seeing his second inning of work. Some action in the Y-D bullpen behind him. CJ Culpepper, once again, he's become a staple of the back end.
And for good reason. 8 up, 8 down through 3 outings for CJ Culpepper.
Fastball misses high. Cody Huff bobbled it for a second, but kept it in front of him. So the runner, Tommy Troy, stays put at second base. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Diodati, who has emerged as the best hitter in the league. And the lefty from Alabama swings and pops it foul out of play.
And he missed that one. That was in his wheelhouse, and you saw himself frustrated with himself after he fouled that one back. Doesn't miss a lot of balls right in his wheelhouse too often. As you saw, hit the statistics off the charts, hitting above 360 with 4 homers, but that was almost another one.
And the 2-2 to Diodati. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. No, he fouled it off.
He just got a piece of it.
Ooh, Owen Diodati really treading water in this at-bat.
A healthy hack, though, on 2 strikes. No shortening up there. He got all of that swing, but just got a little piece of the baseball.
1 seam. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Owen Diodati, the left-handed hitter, choking up big time on 2 strikes. Checked his swing on the breaking ball in the dirt. Didn't go for ball 3.
Battling in this at-bat, Owen Diodati, who homered in the 7th.
Diodati hitting from the left side. Naturally left-handed as a thrower and as a hitter, but switched to a right-handed thrower just so he could play more positions defensively. And this is where he's most comfortable. Full count with a runner on second, 1 out. Wareham up by 1. Payoff pitch, grounded foul. We'll do it again.
Diodati, obviously a really good hitter. 4 bombs on the season, was the Cape Cod Player of the Week. Trying to give Wareham some insurance here in the 8th. Y-D has turned it on in the 8th and 9th a few times this season at Red Wilson Field. Wareham knows that, and they're not satisfied with just 1 run.
Infield shaded to pull, and Owen Diodati lays off the fastball high by the letters. Ball 4. Oh, Reed McLaughlin wanted that pitch back. It's now runners on first and second with 1 out. Wareham up by 1. And that brings up Justin Williams, who, guess what, homered his last time up, homered the time before that. That's 2 home runs for Justin Williams.
Broke up the no-hitter in the 5th and gave his team the lead in the 7th. All 3 runs come on solo shots today for Wareham, 2 of which come from the guy at the plate.
The Penn State Nittany Lion chases the breaking ball low below the zone, strike 1.
Gave his team a 1-0 lead and then gave his team a 3-2 lead. Both go-ahead home runs from Williams.
And at this point, a 6-2 lead with 1 swing of the bat not out of the question. Breaking ball slices the inside corner. Generous call potentially for Reed McLaughlin. Justin Williams did not think so. No balls and 2 strikes now.
You'll take it, though, if you're McLaughlin. He wanted that Diodati pitch. That was a little up, but gets a friendly call there on the inside corner.
The junior earned Big Ten All-Freshman honors in 2019. No balls, 2 strikes. McLaughlin from the stretch. Fastball got him. Oh, he blew it right by him, dialing it up, and 2 gone in the top of the 8th inning.
Huge out right there. Williams, last 2 at-bats, 2 home runs, great swings, but it's McLaughlin, who you mentioned, dials it up after coming with the inside breaking ball, dials it up high in the zone against a guy who's ambushed 2 fastballs today. What confidence from McLaughlin right there in a big pitch.
And a big at-bat here. Angelo Despina, 0 for 2 on the day, walked his last time up. McLaughlin from the stretch and another breaking ball. He's been pitching backwards here with a breaking ball to start and that fastball elevated. It's tough to lay off.
It is tough, and especially when you pitch a guy backwards. The only guys who can do that with a ton of success is the guys that have command of their off-speed stuff. You can't go throw balls to begin the count and try to finish them with your fastball.
And checking back the runner at second, the tag applied, not in time. Oh, Tommy Troy just got under the glove of Pascal Ferreras, the shortstop, and Ferreras, he thought he had a good chance to land that one. As soon as he applied the tag, he showed the umpire the ball, saying, hey,
yeah,
let there be no doubt.
Lucky for Troy, that would have been the third time he was caught on the base paths. 2 caught stealings today for him.
The 0-1 to Despina. Oh, the slider is in there. Strike 2. Reed McLaughlin throwing the breaking ball for a strike. That's when you know he's dangerous.
Maybe he climbs the ladder here like he did to Justin Williams.
Just one batter ago. A swinging strikeout to get out number 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Runners on first and second. The fastball misses just outside for ball 1. That's something we've seen a lot of. McLaughlin, even though he's pitching pretty well today, doesn't want to give those lefty power hitters anything to hit on 2 strikes.
I know you said he missed there. He missed the strike zone, but that was basically where he wanted it. He wanted to see if it was going to be a chase, and it wasn't.
The 1-2 to Williams. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Got him on the elevated fastball. 2 consecutive strikeouts for Reed McLaughlin to strand a pair in the top of the 8th inning. Still 3-2 in favor of Wareham, and McLaughlin keeping Y-D in the game. You're watching Y-D Red Sox baseball on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
Sponsorship of the Big Time Baseball League. Franklin.
Well, if you're superstitious, the top of the 8th, rather bottom of the 8th inning right now might be for you. Brad Klein alongside Will Connolly on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Y-D down by 1. They could use a comeback. Down 3-2, and here's Nate Baez, the walk-off hero from a few days ago, to lead off the frame. Changeup misses high for ball 1 from Jonathan Brand from Miami, Ohio. And the fastball is clocked to deep left field. That falls for extra bases. It goes all the way to the wall. Nate Baez shimmies over to second base with a leadoff double in the bottom of the 8th.
And Baez, you mentioned he had the walk-off against Orleans. He had the walk-off hit, but also earlier in that game had a double to bring Y-D within a run.
And Tyler Williams will relieve Nate Baez of his duties as a pinch runner. First has a bit of a conference with Scott Pickler near third base.
Now batting for the Red Sox, number 29, Tyler Smith.
And Tyler Williams is probably the guy that you want with speed in scoring position. Nate Baez got him there, his team leading 3rd double of the season. And here's Tanner Smith, who walked his first and only time up today, came in as a pinch hitter for Drew Compton in the 6th. And Williams from Arkansas Little Rock dancing off the bag at second. He knows that he represents a valuable run.
Baez now 8 for his last 19, continuing to hit at a high level.
Smith watches the fastball skip low for ball 1.
So with Williams now in the game at Baez's spot, interested to see how they orchestrate the defense next half inning. You got Williams as an outfielder, Smith as an outfielder as well.
Now defense right now, the least of Y-D's concerns, down by 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Tanner Smith, the Oregon product. And the lefty steps nearly out of the box and avoids the fastball that almost nicked the inside corner. And Tanner Smith almost looking silly there. 2 balls and no strikes.
And he had a 4-pitch walk last time he came in to pinch hit. Tanner Smith did. And that was in the 6th. He came in to pinch hit, drew the free pass, and then came around to score the go-ahead run on the Wyatt Hoffman double. So he's seen 6 pitches today. All of them have been balls. And speaking of the defense, Luttrell can easily just move to first base.
Yep.
Come on, Tanner, hit
Jimmy
her hard.
Crooks gets a new catcher's mitt. Might have broken a lace on that last pitch. Tanner Smith hitting a $167 on the year. Tyler Williams representing the tying run. Swing and a miss, dropped, strike. Jimmy Crooks just could not corral the fastball in the dirt, and Tyler Williams advances to third base.
Williams with a ton of speed. He was going to score on any hit, and now it's a even bigger task. The battery out there, Crooks and Brand, anything that gets behind the backstop, we've got a tie game. Also makes the job for Smith easier. Infield comes in, a fly out scores a run, many different ways to get the job done with nobody out. So Y-D has to execute in this situation and tie the game.
Well, a very, very similar situation for Tanner Smith. He faced the infield in his last time up, and again it was a walk. 2 balls and a strike with that infield pinched in, and Williams clocks that run, make that Smith to deep right center field. It's going to be caught by the right fielder, and on into home is Tyler Williams to tie the game. A sac fly, Cade Kern, the right fielder, makes the catch. And the speed of Tyler Williams pays off as Kern's throw was way wide right. We're tied up at 3 apiece.
Great at-bat right there by Smith. Takes 2 balls, swings through a strike that allows Williams to advance to third, and does a job. You got a guy on third, less than 2 outs. There's no excuse to not get him in. Smith puts the ball in play, does a good job against a talented reliever, hits it deep enough to allow the speedy Williams to score, and we've got a tie game.
So here's Wyatt Hoffman, who ripped an RBI double his last time up. Good contact there. A ground ball slowly hit to the shortstop, Jarvis, and running on the throw in time to make the play for out number 2.
Now batting the catcher, number 26, Cody Huff.
Y-D ties the game at 3 apiece in the bottom of the 8th inning. Cody Huff with a chance here to keep Y-D alive with 2 outs in the frame. 2 hits already and reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th.
I think that increases the likelihood that you probably see Culpepper as well. With the off day tomorrow, makes sense.
1 ball and no strikes to Huff, and he skies it foul out of play to the first base side. So 1 ball and 1 strike now to Cody Huff. Stanford catcher making his first positional start for Y-D. And if he keeps the line moving, it would be Zach Liu. Big swing and a miss by Huff there for strike 2. Now Huff came up pretty big in Omaha. And a couple of really big long balls for the Cardinal. And an interesting delivery on the breaking ball, nicking the outside corner. Strike 3 called. So Jonathan Brand just toying with Huff there, staying up in his upright position, and the leg kick delayed to throw off the timing of Huff. That kept the bat on his shoulders. Side retired. But Y-D gets a run back. A leadoff double for Nate Baez, a sac fly by Tanner Smith to tie it up at 3 apiece. And this break brought to you by Curry College. Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including 5th-year master's programs at www.curry.edu. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, Brad Klein alongside Will Connerly. Top of the ninth, it's a tie ball game. And if your ears might be bleeding because you keep on hearing that over and over and over again, my condolences. Y-D already with 3 ties, trying to avoid that with some late magic in the bottom of the ninth. But to avoid the loss, it's C.J. Culpepper coming on for the Red Sox, and he's really become the shiny toy for Scott Pickler in the bullpen as a foul ball is skied down the right field line out of play by Jack Brannigan, the DH. Now, Culpepper is one of only 2 pitchers that has played in 3 games this year for Y-D, and now he leads the team with 4 games. He leads the pen, that is.
He also, from what we've seen, he's been probably the best reliever.
Breaking ball got Brannigan to chase, and another breaking ball got Brannigan to poke down the right field line out of play. And you're right, he has been the best reliever. That's why he's seen the most action, at least in terms of appearances. 1 run and 1 inning, no runs allowed in his last appearance against Harwich right here at Red Wilson Field. Fastball sails outside for ball 1. He's worked 2 2/3, hasn't given up any runs.
Perfect.
No hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts. He's been unhittable.
8 up, 8 down in 3 outings.
The 1-2 and the changeup got him to chase off the plate for strike 3. Jack Brannigan goes down for the 2nd time today via the strikeout, and dating back to Reed McLaughlin in the 8th inning, that's 3 consecutive strikeouts for the Gateman.
It should come as no surprise that C.J. Culpepper's just been so nasty out of the bullpen this year, and it's just such a great story. He struggled in 2020, but he just turned it on in 2021. 13 saves out of the pen.
Big swing and a miss from Jimmy Crooks, the catcher. 0-1 the count now. The junior from Cal Baptist, a righty, 6'3", 205, a guy that has been impressing a lot of scouts downstairs, I'm sure. And Crooks chops it foul, 0-2, so the 2nd straight time that Culpepper is way ahead of the count in as many batters.
And you mentioned he's going into his 3rd year of school, but this past season, technically, his 1st year exhausted of eligibility was the WAC Freshman of the Year and 1st-team WAC reliever.
The 0-2 from Culpepper, chopped weakly over to Lou. He gathers, and on to first in time, 2 gone.
And I saw Culpepper the other day and I said, hey, you had a really good season at Cal Baptist, and he was really nice. He said, man, I was just really blessed that it could happen. And, of course, he chopped his ERA just way down. It was an 8.68 ERA in 2020. But over the winter, worked on being more explosive, improved his mechanics, and just came out with electric stuff. Had 11 saves in his first 14 appearances for a great Cal Baptist team this past spring.
Strike 1 to Cade Fergus, 0 for 2 on the day. Walked his last time up in the 7th. Culpepper misses low and away, 1-1. Well, C.J. Culpepper started playing baseball at age 2, and over winter break he really worked on being explosive, something that he's really trying to implement in the CCBL, and he's done that and then some with an explosive strike.
He's been explosive,
on the fastball.
all right. Yeah.
1 ball and 2 strikes now.
His stuff is really, really good. 3 pitches out of the pen, all for strikes.
And the 1-2 from Culpepper. Fastball misses low for ball 2.
Getting ahead, great mound presence. Very, very bright future for C.J. Culpepper. 6'3", big, long arms.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Fergus. And the breaking ball, a slider, he dodged it. It goes wide for ball 3. So the first time that we see C.J. Culpepper in a 3-ball count, he's been unstoppable. Payoff pitch. It misses outside and low, ball 4. The first base runner that C.J. Culpepper has allowed this season as a Y-D Red Sox, and Cade Fergus is aboard with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning.
Of course, it was going to happen. Wasn't going to go the whole year without letting any guys on, but he's just been so nasty. He's been Y-D's guy and turning into, you've got your back-end guys, Dufault, Marrero, but Culpepper seems like he may be the latest of the back-end guys. He's one of the best freshmen in the entire nation this past year on the mound.
Now, Culpepper walked 15 batters in 30 innings recorded this past year at Cal Baptist. Walked 3 in 2/3 of an inning, his last appearance against UC Riverside this past year.
The school that Zach Jacobs goes to, but did not get in the game today. Was scheduled to at the beginning of the game, but didn't happen.
So after checking back the speedy Fergus at first base, now Culpepper directs his attention to Jim Jarvis in the batter's box. 0 for 4 on the day. Culpepper from the stretch comes set, kicks and deals, and Fergus chops it up the first base side, slicing foul, with plenty of, like we like to say, English on it. Basketball jargon
English,
for Jay Alter.
Absolutely. For all the fans listening, English, probably the best way to describe it. What other word could you use?
Spanish? Olé?
French?
Je m'appelle Potpourri? Nah, I don't know. I don't know. No French. No balls and a strike after the foul ball to Jim Jarvis, who's now 1 for his last 8. Chops it again up the first base side, and Luttrell just couldn't touch it fair in time.
Really close, though. Bounced, and then Luttrell got to it. And Culpepper eyeing for a strikeout here. Story this year has just been how good that Culpepper's been. 4th appearance, limited rest, but has the off day tomorrow, just going a frame. Definitely can get it done. He's used to coming on short rest, being a closer.
Wyatt Hoffman playing in shallow right field. No balls and 2 strikes to Jarvis. He lays off the fastball outside. 1-2.
And that was, I mean, Cody Huff didn't really even move his glove there. That's where he wanted that pitch. You know, 0-2, you're way ahead. I don't want to challenge you up and in yet. I'm going to go outside and try to get a call. Didn't get a call. It was outside.
Gaping hole between the third baseman Lou and the shortstop Ferreras, who's basically playing and hugging second base in anticipation of Cade Fergus potentially taking off. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first. Tie ball game in the top of the 9th inning between Wareham and Y-D. And Culpepper deals changeup in there. Strike 3 called. C.J. Culpepper rings up his 2nd of the frame and treads water and keeps it a tie ball game. Heading to the bottom of the 9th we go. Tied at 3 apiece between Y-D and Wareham. The Red Sox have already tied 3 times, potentially in line for their 2nd walk-off of the year. This break brought to you by the Salty Dog Group. Hey, Sox fans, have you ever thought about buying or selling a home? Emily Szymanski of the Salty Dog Group is your pet-friendly neighborhood realtor. As part of the team at Keller Williams Realty of Cape Cod and the Islands, Emily is your go-to resource for home buying and selling. Call Emily Szymanski at 508-221-0196 or just visit thesaltydoggroup.kw.com. It's crunch time. The bottom of the 9th we go. Y-D 3 and Wareham 3. And that dark cloud hanging over the CCBL this year. Ties are a very real possibility, and right now that's best case scenario for Wareham, who put up a 0 in their last frame against C.J. Culpepper, who allowed his first base runner, was absolutely dealing though, came on a walk. Here's Zach Liu. 1 ball, no strikes, make it 1 ball, 1 strike as he pops it foul down the right field line out of play.
You mentioned the dark cloud, and Wareham right now, all they can do, the best they can do, tie. Y-D, they can win it with the walk-off, but, I mean, tie, you still get a point in the standings.
Lou with a slow ground ball over to Jarvis. He's charging in, on to first in time for out number 1. What a play by Jim Jarvis to get an underrated out number one.
A really good play right there. Opportunity up front, and going to see a pinch hitter here.
Here's Cade Hunter coming in for Pascal Ferreras, who was 0 for 2 on the day, and Hunter, at the very least, gives you a left-handed hitter against the righty. Jonathan Brand, who's been fantastic coming out of the bullpen. And Hunter watches that fastball inside for ball one. Now, Cade Hunter has struggled a little bit as a Red Sox, but recently starting to pick it up. Identical pitch inside 2-0.
Sit on a fastball here.
Hunter is hitting a .143, 3 for 21 as a Red Sox, and Hunter slashes it foul down the left field line. He was on it though, waiting for that fastball, just a little tardy.
You're in that hitter's count. You want to be able to square something up. Try to hit something hard.
And the 2-1 to Hunter. On the black outside corner. Great fastball by Jonathan Brand, who's just painting right now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cade Hunter, who was 3 for his last 5 before the 0 for 5 yesterday against Harwich. The 2-2. Chin music for ball 3.
Brand with good confidence on the mound, mixing and matching that leg kick a little bit.
3 balls and 2 strikes now. Jonathan Brand has been a Swiss Army knife coming out of the pen. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3, he got him on the changeup, and Cade Hunter goes down swinging for the second out. Y-D just 1 out away from their 4th tie of the season. It's up to Peyton Graham.
And Graham has power. Saw him hit the home run yesterday. And if you have a home run card, drop your hats, because could be the last chance for the Y-D Red Sox.
Peyton Graham has 2 home runs this season. The kid sitting in the outfield, lining up in the left center field hole. And he skies that one out to deep right field, chasing back his Kern. He makes the catch on the track, and that'll do it. Peyton Graham gives it a ride to the opposite field, and Y-D goes down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 9th. Your final 3-3 Wareham and Y-D draw, and the Y-D Red Sox now 4-2-4 on the season.
Haven't lost, though, in their last 5 games now. You have 3 ties and 2 wins in the last 5 games. You'll take it. Now 12 points in the standings. Maybe some people don't like it, the tie, but of course a rule this year, ties after 9 innings, no extra innings. There's been ties in the past in the Cape Cod League, but of course, good reason. They're playing every day. Don't want continue to have pitchers go out there. But for the standings in the East, it's another point for the Y-D Red Sox, and they continue to widen the gap and distance themselves from the rest of the East. They're the best team in the East right now.
The beasts of the East, for sure. And that's 12 points for Y-D, who went into this game with a plan, and they diverted from that plan. For good reason, though. Zach Franklin was better than expected.
Zach Franklin was really good today, and it was great to see him go out there and shoved it. He earned himself a spot in the starting rotation, wouldn't you think?
You think that's it?
I think that's it. Of course, my opinion doesn't hold much weight.
Of course, going into this game, we both thought it would be Jarrett Godman, who certainly did not help his case. Now, granted, that was a bullpen appearance. It was a relief appearance, which is a completely different animal. Zach Franklin started, and he had the benefit of getting ready.
He had great command. He looks really good. Godman's been really good out of the bullpen. Yeah, made a couple mistakes, let up a couple home runs, but he's still going to be a big piece of the bullpen. But I think Franklin, he for sure earned himself another start. Looks really, really good today. Justin Williams with a couple of go-ahead home runs today for Wareham. Of course, hit the ball well, broke up the no-hitter in the top of the 5th. But Franklin was locked in today. He was dealing, and I think he should be in the rotation. He should earn himself another start.
Really, the only blemish for Franklin was that hit that broke up the no-hitter, that home run to Justin Williams. And for Y-D, They put up 3 runs on the board, and some things that you could be happy about going in. Off the cuff, Cody Huff making his first appearance as a positional player, 2 hits. That's a big deal for a team that really hasn't had much production from that catcher spot.
And if we talk about the East Division and the Y-D Red Sox, of course, at top of it with 12 points. Behind Y-D is Brewster and Chatham, each with 8 points. They're playing right now. Brewster's leading 6-1 in the bottom of the 8th, so likely Brewster to get a couple points in that one. That would still give them 10 points, and Y-D, no matter who wins that game, still has a 1-game lead on first place.
Your final from Red Wilson Field, Y-D 3 and Wareham 3. We're sorry, it happens in the CCBL in 2021. 4-2-4. That's 4 ties for the Red Sox. We're back at it again tomorrow, though. The Red Sox, actually, no, we have an off day.
Off day tomorrow.
Off day. We're back at it again on Friday, though. And the Red Sox have themselves a meeting with the Anglers in Chatham on the road. We'll be with you for first pitch coming at 7 o'clock. We'll go live at 6:50 on YouTube on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. For Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein signing off and thanking Jay Alter for taking the time with us for, 3 frames? It was a pretty good stretch.
Got our money's worth.
With Jay Alter, oh, for sure. And it's always good to call baseball with a non-baseball guy. A little spice of life there. Jay Alter taking the time. Thank you so much for taking that time. Your final from Red Wilson Field, 3-3, Wareham and Y-D knotted up after 9.